Let me just set up the YouTube real fast. My hair getting long. I appreciate it. Okay, that should be good. How you guys feeling? Uh, Wait, how many pages do you have? I thought I was already following you. Uh, this I have like one backup page. I don't use it, but all these other pages you are seeing, it's just like bots and people trying to make money off my name. Thank God you're not alone. What's up, Beyond Rubies? Love Jones, appreciate the follow and appreciate the heart me and the gift. What's up, HD? What's up, Pup? It's for your advice. I got you. The Oracle, I got you. Did you just open live? Yeah, I just started like right now. It might freeze up right now. I had to fix something. What's up, bro? Love the way you break these events down. Jesus loves you and content you're doing. Keep it up. I appreciate you. Try to hop into scripture too. You've overcame a lot of family, I'm guessing family trauma. You deserve the blessings. Yeah, I appreciate you. Most def. Aristotle, appreciate the follow. And appreciate the heart, man. My thing disappeared right now. Give me a second. You caught it live. Hey, welcome in, honestly. Yo, this stuff is so sensitive. Every time I listen to your videos, it feels like you're personally talking to me. And I'm glad my videos are able to help you. The reason I make these videos is because when I was going through it and through these different experiences, I wish that I had people to talk to. And it was pretty cool once I started kind of like getting on social media and starting to see like there's other people out there that's like me. The Oracle, appreciate it. Right back at you. We got a clear cognition in the building, and yeah, that's basically just a discernment. So for you guys that's in here and you don't know what clear cognition is, that's basically the gift of discernment. Good evening. What's up? All the way from London. Welcome to the chat. Got someone from France. I want to go to France. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna start traveling soon. Everyone in here, how do you guys feel having the gift of discernment? Are you happy 100% of the time that you have it, or is it like a roller coaster of emotions? Love your videos because they are spot on, like me. A lot of them are spot on. I got you. Hello from the Netherlands. What's up? Amazing both. Great, and it's a roller coaster. Yeah, it's definitely a roller coaster. Can you describe the other ones too? Yeah, I got you. Are you able to identify us, or can you just feel what we feel? Like, what do you mean identify? But to everyone, before I start explaining it, who knows what clairvoyant is? Who wants to drop the answer in here? Jimbo, appreciate the rose. Got someone saying future reading. No comment. Clair knowing. Yeah, so clairvoyancy is just the dreams. So if you guys are getting or having dreams and it comes to pass, that's basically you being clairvoyant. Even before people awaken, that's kind of a gift people notice that they had beforehand, but they weren't really able to put it into words. It's when they awaken and then they think back, they're like, oh, that's what that was. But yeah, clairvoyancy is clear seeing. I think like that's a definition, like clear seeing. So if you guys are having dreams and you're having like these weird dreams, like what is this trying to tell me? It will be in your best interest to decipher them because it's going to be trying to tell you something. Especially too if you have like a fake friend or like someone that is like doing something to you behind the scenes, that clairvoyancy is definitely going to help you out. Like if you dream about someone cheating on you, you don't dream that for no reason. So like if you guys are having that dream, it's time to start asking some questions. And the thing about having these psychic gifts is you're going to have to deal with people always trying to gaslight you. A lot of you guys are very tapped in. You might get a dream that like someone's cheating on you. You go confront them and they're like, I'm not cheating on you. And that's all it takes for you guys to be like, okay. For a lot of you guys, it doesn't take much for you guys to get gaslit because a lot of you guys don't trust yourselves. You guys don't trust your intuition. God prosperity, appreciate the follow. I've gotten to the point where like I don't need confirmation from like the 3D. I don't need confirmation from like people in real life because a majority of people out there are lying and trying to just trying to get one over on people that have these gifts. And if anything, people will take it like a whole lot further. If they know you're one of the people with these gifts, they will try their best to make you seem as if you're crazy. They will call you crazy to your face. They will gossip about you, tell people that you're crazy just to discredit what you got going on. So you have to be like someone that is like a lone wolf out there. If you see something and your gifts are telling you something, you have to kind of just trust yourself. If I get a weird dream about you, hey, that's gonna make me start looking at you different. Like I'm not gonna have a conversation where I'm like, yo, I dreamt this. I think this is what's going on. Are you doing this? Because in this reality, people are gonna take things to the grave. It's very crazy. You don't even just have to have your gifts. You can catch people in the act, have the proof, and they'll still gaslight you to your face. So you got to be able to just trust what you are seeing. I never remember my dreams either. They were really terrifying as a kid. I tell people if you can't remember your dreams, start like dream journaling. Not remembering your dreams is spiritual warfare because your dreams are there to help you see beyond the veil and stuff like that. Sometimes, like, you know what you're doing. There's something you're probably doing in the 3D that's making you not dream. If you are someone that can't remember, you don't know what you're doing, just when you wake up, just start journaling. Yeah, it's a waste of energy to go back and forth with liars. Facts. And then clear audience is clear hearing. So if you guys are getting messages through sound, that is clear audience. A lot of you guys get messages through music, through sounds. If you guys are listening to music and you hear it say one lyric and you key into it and you get this intuitive feeling that it's trying to tell you something, then yeah, that's your spirit guides. That's God trying to communicate with you. Other times when you guys be having conversations with yourself, you be talking back and forth, and then you start like saying things that you don't even know how you got that answer. That's your clear audience, like right there. And talking to yourself is, in a way, it's like journaling. It's like connecting to like your higher self, but instead of writing it out, you're saying like the words like out loud. Sometimes like the best person you got to talk to is yourself. If you ever feel like you're crazy, like I got no one to talk to, no one understands me, just start talking to yourself. You start coming to some revelations that you didn't even know. And you be thinking to yourself, like, where am I getting this information from? That's your psychic ability. Intuitive claircognizance. Yeah, claircognizance, gift of discernment, one that everyone knows. That's just clear knowing. Sometimes you just know things and you're like, how do I know that? How do I know that? You guys will get the discernment. You guys become like human lie detectors. People are starting to realize you're psychic because like you just know when they're lying. They can be like professional lie because there's professional liars out there. Like they practice this like every night, where they'll make sure they don't really give any nonverbal cues. They'll try to keep their facial expressions like calm and all those different things. Those people get away with lying to a lot of people, but for some reason, when they try to lie to you, it just never works because you know how to read energy as well. So sometimes someone says something and you just feel it, like, yo, this person's lying to me. Sometimes you don't even be paying attention to the person, like you kind of be like zoned out a little bit. They say a lie, you kind of zone in, like, yo, like that was a lie. And because of that, a lot of people, if you have discernment, they're not gonna like want to be around you. People that are hiding from themselves, people that are running away, not trying to heal, not doing the shadow work, they're gonna find being around you very uncomfortable because your discernment is exposing things that they're trying to hide. And that's why a lot of you guys, like having discernment, you just got to play dumb like when you're around people, and you got to act like you don't know. You got to kind of see things. Sometimes like you have this empathy about you where like you see something but you pretend not to see it because you don't want to embarrass the other person. It's when people start getting like very bold, when they're like, all right, they're really dumb, I'm going to try to ruin their life. Now you got to reveal to them like, I knew what you were doing the whole time. And then when you do that, that's when people are going to start saying like you're a witch or something, you're evil, all because like you don't allow people to like get away with like their evil plan. You'll have someone out there like kind of staying up late at night trying to do some evil, like working on an evil plan with you, thinking to themselves like this is how I'm gonna ruin their life. And then when you come and you reveal you know what's going on, now you're the evil person. If you guys ever had that happen, drop ones in the chat. Pink, appreciate the follow. What's up, Emma? Welcome in. Appreciate the heart me. What I miss? Welcome in, welcome in. But yeah, having discernment's gonna have a lot of people calling you every name in the book because you become a mirror to these people. What's up, Leia? So people will start accusing you of doing the things that they are doing. So having discernment in a way is kind of dangerous. It's an amazing gift to have because you see what is going on. But the person that sees too much in society, the person that's able to see through like everybody, you become a threat to not only people but to the system themselves. So if you guys are in any type of environment that thrives off of a toxic system, having discernment is going to make you a target. You guys, if you have discernment, working a 9 to 5 is going to be very hard. Being in a lot of friend groups is going to be very hard. All these different little toxic systems where people are trying to ignore the toxicity, you will become the target if you are the one that's out there like exposing these things. For the most part, you guys are going to be exposing things accidentally, but I'd be saying if you can help it, just act like you don't know anything, to be honest. When you guys first start unlocking discernment, you guys probably had that sense of justice. I'm going to save the world. I'm going to expose all of this. And I'm going to, like, you guys just had this mindset of if you try to expose the truth, if you try to say this isn't right, this is that, that you will always get justice. And you found out immediately that that's not the case, because a lot of people know these things be going on in the shadows, and a lot of people will rather uphold the system than to actually seek out the truth. So the one that is seeking out the truth, you become like a whistleblower, and they'll target you immediately. They're like, oh, this person's talking too much. It's almost like a Truman Show. Like your discernment's gonna allow you to see through the Truman Show. It's gonna allow you to see through the Matrix. It's like they're all pretending, and if you're the one that's not pretending, they're going to, you get marked. It's like very crazy. It's like they go back to like this person and he's telling them like, yo, this person knows too much. Like they're one of those ones. So if you can help it, you gotta like really pretend most of the times. What's up, Paulette? But sometimes like they'll know like off rip that there's something going on with you. Because everyone, when people are kind of like so used to manipulating others and everyone else is a minion, they will feel that something is different about you. Your gifts is going to have a lot of people that want to be your friend, but as soon as they see that you can't be controlled, they'll immediately try to take you out. That's why having these type of gifts, you can't, like, people are going to put you on a pedestal. People are going to want to be your friend really fast. People are going to want to date you because they feel that you're powerful and they want to be in control of your gifts because they're going to feel powerful by association. But as soon as they see that you don't submit to their control, that's when they're going to start doing all the weird stuff that they start doing. How many of you guys be seeing like a night and day difference with people? Like they love you in the beginning and out of nowhere, they just switch up. Drop ones in the chat. You be seeing through these masks, like at first they're on their best behavior. You're like, you're amazing. Oh my God, I've never met someone like you ever before. This is amazing. And so in the beginning, you will get fooled by this stuff as well. Because you guys are, with your gifts, you value truth. So you be trying to take things at face value. You be like, oh, they said that. That must mean, okay, we're cool, this and that. Whole time they're wearing a mask and they're waiting to like eventually do some weird stuff. Because people that put you on a pedestal for your gifts, they're going to be the same people to kick you off when you are no longer like submitting to their control or something. That's why for a lot of you guys, when you have these gifts, you have an anointing about you. To unlock these gifts, you had to be on the path less traveled. You had to pass certain tests. And because you passed these certain tests, you guys got blessed with these gifts. But a lot of people out there, they're not passing these tests. Many are called, few are chosen. Some people get tested, they fold immediately. They don't want to go through the things that you go through. And because people view life as like a lot of people view life as like a competition. A lot of people are like crabs in a bucket. So when you're that one person, when you have your gifts, you're shining and all these different things, they get very envious and jealous. And someone that's envious of your gifts, don't underestimate how far they're willing to go to try to take you out. Especially too, if you have someone that's so used to manipulating other people and you're that one person that sees through them, that person is going to want to be like an arch nemesis like in your life. And if you stay around them for too long, the wrong individual, someone that's very jealous of you, and then you try to cut them off, then they will probably turn to a stalker. A lot of you guys have G stalkers out there, cyber stalkers, because you let a jealous individual be around you a little bit too long. Remember, when you have these gifts, you can see when someone is like weird. You can see when someone is going to switch up on you, do some demonic type of stuff. When you have these gifts, it's best not to ignore it, because if you end up ignoring it, you're going to get even a bigger demon. That's why the biggest thing I'm going to be saying throughout this stream is like, don't ignore your intuition. If like you're feeling something is off about somebody, you're getting a dream, you're getting messages in music, your discernment is telling you what is going on with this person, then if you still choose to stay around them, you only have yourself to blame when they end up doing something traumatic to you. And when you have this type of energy, when you have these type of gifts, when you have a rare anointing, you're going to attract some of the weirdest people you have ever met. So weird, you're going to be asking yourself, like, there's no way that they're this weird, they're this demonic. And because you've never seen this type of weird before, you start making excuses for yourself. You start thinking you're probably crazy. Maybe you're not seeing it the right way. Hey, we're in a spiritual warfare, guys. A lot of people are getting possessed demonically. A lot of people aren't as they seem. These things aren't talked about out loud a lot, so you be thinking the world's a normal place. But you don't have to take my word for it. You guys are out there going through this stuff on a daily. Seeing some of the weirdest behavior from people that you never thought, like you've seen some things you never said out loud because no one will believe you. That's how weird that person was moving with you. And that's why this journey is going to feel lonely and isolating, because your discernment is going to show you things that you can't talk about with other people. You're going to notice someone do the weirdest thing in the world. You're going to try to go to someone that doesn't have these gifts and try to explain it to them. One thing you're going to know when you have discernment is nope, like a majority of people are not going to understand you. Because another thing that comes with the claircognizance is the pattern recognition. When you have a God-given ability to discern things and you have pattern recognition, that is for you and you only. A lot of people are not going to understand you. And a lot of you guys have to find that out the hard way, because you probably had a weird situation. You probably dealt with a weird individual and you tried to let someone know, hey, this is what's going on. They did this. And then they'll ask you, well, how do you know that? And then you start thinking like, oh, this isn't common knowledge. A lot of you guys be discerning things. You're on this other level. You start thinking that a lot of things that you think is common knowledge, but then when you start opening up to other people, you're like, oh, wow, like I'm one of the few people that can actually see what's going on. So when you have discernment, it's more so you're not wrong, you're early. And you got to keep telling yourself that. You're going to open up sometimes to people, and I suggest you don't do it. And they'll say you're wrong. They'll say you're crazy, only for it to come to pass like a month from when you said it, 2 months. And the crazy thing about it is, if you told someone what was going to happen and it ends up happening, they will never give you your credit. There's a lot of empty vessels out there, Agent Smiths, monitoring spirits. They'll see that you were correct the whole time, but they'll never validate what you are seeing and what you are experiencing. They'll rather just gaslight you. But then we also got clairsentience. What's up, Ladybird? And clairsentience is clear feeling. That's basically being an empath times 20. You're going to be able to feel everything with clairsentience. How many of you guys have that gift? Drop ones in the chat. Some of you guys are probably like confused, like, do I have it? Do I not? I'm going to say this right now. If you guys have like a aversion to going outside and you feel all the energy when you're out there and you hate people being in your space, that is clairsentience. But when you feel that way, that's more so it's working against you. Because you guys are out there feeling all the energy, like, and it gets overwhelming at times if you don't know how to control it. Another way to know if you have clairsentience is if you guys ever had an experience where You walk into a room, you can tell they were fighting. Sometimes you could feel that they were talking about you. That's clairsentience. That is your psychic ability. It doesn't take much for you guys to break down what is going on. With these gifts, you guys are out there like Sherlock Holmes. People think they're sneaky. People think that they're hiding things correctly. You walk into a room, they say one word, you're like, oh, you guys were talking about me. But once again, you can't really reveal these things. You can't be like, you can't walk into the room, feel it. You guys are talking about me. And then, if you start doing that, they're gonna be like, oh, you're a crazy person. Like, what's going on? That's why these gifts, there's like a law of polarity. It's very cool because you get to see through the veil, but you can't really talk about these things. You walk into the room and you know they're talking about you, you put that in the back of your head. The pattern recognition files. You got to be incognito out there. You got to let these agent smiths like know that you don't know what's going on. Because as soon as you start revealing that you know what's going on, you walk into the room, I know you guys are talking about me. They start doing witchcraft immediately. They don't even try to understand you, come to a common understanding. Their first instinct is to manipulate and do witchcraft immediately. You probably don't even get the sentence finished and they're doing the witchcraft. Because it's common, it's just a common behavior for these people. It's like as soon as you start talking, their Agent Smith programming starts kicking in and they start gaslighting you to oblivion. Remember, like even if you don't have these gifts, you can catch people in the act. But the world is a stage. People are playing power games. A lot of people are just out there lying. What's up, Kai? What's good? It's been a minute. Right, and then they start a smear campaign against you. Exactly. If you got, the more gifted you are, the more the smear campaigns are gonna be on you. Because remember, having these gifts, you are a threat that you see through all these illusions, you see through all these toxic systems. The more gifted you are, the more they're just gonna lie on you. Because first, like we live in an animalistic society where people are gonna test you at first, and they're gonna start testing you. And when they see that you're not bothered by what they're doing to you, they're not gonna give up trying to like get some type of reaction out of you, trying to cause some misery. So now they're gonna try to control how other people see you. Because you're too gifted. None of the things that they're doing is working on you. They're trying to manipulate you, you're gray rocking, you're not letting it bother you. And they're like, who do you think you are? All right, we're gonna start forming a team to go against you. And that's like a level where, because you got to realize like life is all about levels, and you guys went through all these different things and you went through the trials and tribulations to become a person that no longer affects you. Hey, but we have to go through the trenches to get these gifts, which is crazy. These gifts don't just like, they don't just give it to people and like for nothing. We have to go through fire, trials and tribulations, some of like the worst experience ever to get these gifts. Because when you go through stuff and you're trying to figure out why you went through that, you're doing a shadow work, you're not converting to the other side, that is what activates your gifts. Harp, appreciate it. How do you talk to your guides and how do we understand the differences, especially gauging energies? I don't get your second part, like how do you understand the differences? Unless you're talking about the gifts, but how do you talk to your guides? They talk to me via synchronicities or angel numbers. So when you're seeing angel numbers out there, that's your spirit guides trying to communicate with you. And you got to learn how to decipher that either by looking at the definitions online or paying attention to what you're thinking before you see said angel number. But yeah, these gifts don't just get gifted to like random people. We have to go through the fires of hell to unlock them. And a lot of people are going to be jealous of the gifts that you guys have, but they're not going to want to go through the things that you went through to activate it. Because honestly, anyone can activate these gifts. Like, it's not many are called, few are chosen, but like everyone can activate it. It's just a lot of people don't want to go through the things that we go through to unlock it. And you will also have people trying to destiny swap with you, trying to take your life. But as soon as they start trying to do what you do, God is going to start giving them the trials and tribulations. God's like, all right, you want to be like them? You want to be like this person? No problem. I'm going to start giving you exactly what they went through so you can be the person to get these gifts. And as soon as they get the first trial, as soon as they get the first test, they fold immediately. They're like, what the hell? Like, like I don't want this. People want the end result, but they don't want to go through the process of what you had to go through. And when that happens, that's when you guys will like start having people become enemies, and you won't even know what's going on if you don't know what to look out for. People that's like in secret competition with you, you got to be aware of when it's happening, because it's going to start off innocent, but once they can't beat you in a made up competition that they made up in their own head, you now got another enemy like right in front of you. That's why these enemies could come out of nowhere. You guys can't really be on autopilot when you're out there, because as soon as you're not paying attention, people just are doing weird things like on the daily, and you got to be able to pay attention to these things. And I know it's annoying because you guys don't think like that, and it's exhausting having to like look out for these things. But the more you do it, the easier it's going to be over time. But at one point in your life, you kept just going through it because you kept thinking like, oh, everyone's a good person. Everyone thinks like me. If you guys had that mindset, drop ones in the chat. That's what got a lot of us messed up. And we had to learn from early on that like everyone is not like you. And if you keep expecting yourself out of other people, you're going to have a bad time. I know me, myself, I was hard-headed. I was thinking for a very long time that everyone was just a good person. Some of you guys are very like you guys are very self-aware, overly observant. You go through that test a couple times and you're like, oh, wait. Everyone's not like me. Let me move a little bit more smart. That was not me, guys. I was going years from a time. I thought everyone was like, and if someone did something bad to me, I made some type of excuse for them. I was so bad that like if someone did something bad to me, I was up at night like, what did I do to deserve this? I had to do something to make this person do something to me. And then some of us had to hit rock bottom to know that, oh, this is not the case. There's actual demons out there. And if you don't get to that realization, you can literally be taken out of this reality. Some of us, if we didn't figure it out, we wouldn't really be here to tell the tale. But we went through our humiliation rituals, and we're like, all right, you know what? Why does this keep happening to me? Let me figure this stuff out. We start going down to different rabbit holes. We started watching videos on narcissism. As soon as you start watching those videos on narcissism, it's like unlocking the laws to the universe. Because you're going to go through like the stages of grief while watching those videos. You're going to be so angry. You're going to be like, this is what people is doing to me. And then you get like very addicted to the videos. You're like, yo, they were doing this, they were doing that. Your whole life, you're under witchcraft. You were under a spell. And with each video you watched, with each shadow work you was doing, going within, you start remembering stuff, and like everything which is clear as day. Some of you guys start realizing that this started with your family members. You was born and you was fighting battles you didn't even know you were fighting. No wonder life was hard for you guys. But once you awaken and you start tapping into these gifts, it is going to be a little overstimulating when you first unlock it, because getting all that information, being tapped in with your gifts, you're going to be able to start seeing demons on people. And for a lot of you guys, when you first unlock these gifts, you're not even going to want to leave the house. To any of you guys that's in the chat right now, you probably just awakened, and right now you're in the house. You're like, I'm not going out there. And trust, the more experienced ones on the path, they can tell you eventually it'll get better. But yeah, when I first unlocked my gifts, I wasn't leaving the house at all. I'm like, yo, it's like hell on earth. And I be getting frustrated because I be thinking, how isn't anyone else seeing this? If you even try to like speak up on anything you see, you become a target immediately. And then if you don't know how to control your gifts, as soon as you talk, you're going to trigger someone immediately. Because remember, after you wake up, you start to see that you're like in a Matrix, you're in a Truman Show. A lot of people are not having real conversations out there. If you pay attention to what people are talking about, when you first awakened, you're like, what are they talking about? And if you try to talk about anything real, they get triggered immediately. You go up to them, they're talking about Love Island. You change the conversation to like, what are your fears? What are your passions? We shouldn't be working a 9 to 5, the Matrix. They'll start attacking you immediately. How dare you change the conversation from Love Island? We don't talk about that other stuff here. And then you guys will get super frustrated. You're like, yo, no one wants to have a real conversation. And then a lot of you guys just go mute at a certain point. You're like, anytime I talk, I trigger somebody, so I'm just not going to talk. When you guys first unlock these gifts, you might lose your personality for a little bit. Because you can't even be your real self without having someone like attack you or do something to you. But as I said, it gets a little bit better. You start to learn how to pretend. But pretending is very exhausting. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Authenticity is one of the highest frequencies. And to be around people where you got to pretend, we can do it. It's just very tiring. The fake laughing, the surface level conversations, the making sure you're looking interested, you're smiling, all these different things. That's very exhausting. I can't do that like every single day. And that's why when you guys unlock these gifts and you work a 9 to 5, you got 30 minutes before that 9 to 5 probably fires you. Probably fire you, probably do things to make you get out, start like bullying you. If you guys have these gifts, working a 9 to 5 is going to be very difficult because yes, you guys can pretend, but you can't pretend forever. Eventually, they're going to realize that there's something about you. Your energy with these gifts, you're vibrating very high. So people will get jealous of you like crazy. And at a 9 to 5, you're always going to have that one person that hates you for no reason. How many of you guys have a 9 to 5 where you've worked 9 to 5? There's always that one person that just never likes you. You probably never said one word to that person, but they always mad dog you. You probably try to say hi, they ignore you immediately. A lot of these 9 to 5s is just high school. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And if you look at it from a spiritual realm, if you guys can like literally see the demons that are like around people, you guys are clairsentient, so you can feel it. But if you can actually see how much demons they are battling, you would not want to walk into that job, to be honest. And one test we all got to pass to even be able to have these gifts is you got to start telling yourself you're not the issue. It's the other people. But it took you guys a long time to come to that realization because you guys didn't want to be in your ego. You thought it was too arrogant to like think like that. Hey, if you guys, too much of anything is a bad thing. If you guys are too humble, if you guys have too much humility, that can actually take you out. You got to have like a healthy balance. You got to operate from your soul, but you still got to see things as it is. But yeah, guys, having these gifts, being around people is going to be very hard. A lot of you guys get these gifts and you guys just start isolating from society. How many of you guys was extroverted before you unlock these gifts and then you activate it and now you're an introvert? Drop ones in the chat. Me, myself, man, like before I awakened, I was at all the parties. I was in the mix. I was dating. I had a big friend group. You guys start to realize that's like some of the worst things you can do, especially like when you're like a spiritually gifted person. I look at my life, I don't even know how I made it to this point. Obviously from God protecting me, but honestly, I was just in the mix, thinking everyone was a good person and wondering why these things were happening to me. And now you unlock your gifts and you can see these things clear as day. You see that you guys were surrounded by demons this whole time. A lot of you guys, you had to go against your whole hometown. Imagine trying to thrive in a hometown where everyone is against you because everyone knows you have something in you. Everyone knows you're anointed. You have this calling. But the thing is, people know you have a calling, but they're going to do their hardest to make you not realize that. People meet you, they know who you are. You're just like the last one to figure it out. Because once again, you guys are humble. You guys got humility. You're like, I'm special. I'm not special. You will have someone see it from the outside of the bubble. They'll tell you, hey, you know that person's jealous of you, right? You're like, nah, no one's going to be jealous of me. I don't have anything worth being jealous over. And that's because for a lot of you guys, it starts with your family. You guys, if you grew up in a narcissistic household, they never instilled confidence into you guys. So you don't be believing any of this stuff. And that's why when you guys awaken, you had to like deal with a lot of reprogramming in your brain. So much witchcraft and programming was done to you that when you awaken, you thought you were going crazy. You're like, why am I seeing things like this? I'm crazy. No, no, no. Some days you'll believe it. Some days you wouldn't. Some days you'll be like, I'm crazy. I lost my mind a long time ago. You start going online. You start seeing the right videos. You're like, oh, wait, I'm not crazy. Hey, Chosen, appreciate it. How many of you guys thought you were crazy when you first awakened? If you guys awaken and you immediately said, I know it, I'm right, everyone else is wrong, hey, you're a strong person, honestly. For a lot of us, that reprogramming process was not a walk in the park. And that's why a lot of people don't awaken, because it's a very hard thing to do. Some people get called and they're like, I'm not doing that immediately. But there's something about you guys where you guys value the truth above everything. You guys didn't get cared. You guys didn't care if you got called crazy. You didn't care that you felt crazy. You just kept going and going and going. And that was probably one of the hardest moments in your life. You know how hard it is to go from like a person that is surrounded by people, you're connecting with them, you speak, people know what you're talking about, they're empathizing with you, to one day you wake up, no one knows what you're talking about. You be feeling like you're insane. You're like, I'm speaking English, but no one is understanding me. I'm speaking English, but now I'm getting attacked for it. People I knew for like 10 plus years, now they're attacking me. And spirituality, having these gifts, there's not a rule book to this stuff. It is very confusing. It's not like you awaken and then someone finds you is like, all right, you've been initiated. Here's your book. This is what you got to learn and you're good. It was you by yourself trying to figure this stuff out. When you awakened, it's like they just grabbed you and threw you in the middle of the ocean. You did not know how to swim. They didn't give you a rafter. Like, figure it out. Hey, Starseed, appreciate it. You don't know how you made it back to shore. You figured it out. You start swimming back. The water current will push you even further away. And then you were like in the water for so long. Some of you guys like, you know what? I don't want to do this. Like, this is insane. So some of you guys start researching, how can I unawaken? Everyone in the chat, like when you awaken, is there any going back? Can you go back after you awaken? Lily Pearl, appreciate the rose. I know that's what I was doing. I'm like, yo, this is insane. I got no friends. I just lost my job. I'm broke. I don't want to do this. Like, I started researching, like, hey, can I undo this? All the links was saying, like, nah, there's no going back. There's no going back. I literally thought the internet was, like, playing with me or something. So I started going on YouTube, and it said YouTubers were saying the same thing. And I was mad. I'm like, I didn't even ask to awaken, and now I'm fighting things that I didn't even know existed out here. You're in the middle of the ocean. You think you're swimming forward. Spirituality is like 5 steps forward, 100 steps back. And you're just falling through dimensions. And you're like, yo, am I doing good? Am I progressing? Am I going crazy? Hey, so if you guys made it to the other side and you finally grounded yourself, hey, W's in the chat for everybody. Congrats. We didn't get no award for this stuff. We didn't get no one coming to us and saying good job. But know if you made it to this other side, hey, I know what you guys went through. We all went through it. It's almost like being like a part of like, it's like you got to get jumped into it. Like, you awaken, you got to get jumped by like your family members. And it's like the people that's like closest to you too. You awaken, your family member is going to start jumping you. Your closest friend, your best friend of like 10 years is going to be the main one. You're going to try to hold your hand out to like get them to lift you up. They're going to smack it away, kick you in the face, and you're going to be down there for a minute. But after you get jumped for like a minute, and I don't mean to scare like I don't mean to scare like the new people that's in the hey, you know what? Awakening is pretty cool, guys. It comes with a lot of cool stuff. You're gonna get some gifts. We're gonna talk about the positives. Once you get to the other side, it's an amazing process. You start being able to see all these things you never thought was possible. So all the people is like, why? Like, I want to go back. I don't want to awaken. And trust, it gets way better. Because once you unlock these gifts, you be seeing things you can't really say out loud. You be knowing things you don't even know how you know it. Because honestly, when you awaken, you start to be able to see into the future. How many of you guys can see into the future? Drop ones in the chat. Sometimes you just be thinking something. You're like, is that going to happen? A day later, it just comes to pass. A lot of you guys' thoughts, you guys began these synchronicities like crazy. You guys think about somebody, they call you immediately. One's in the chat. And all these gifts are going to protect you from the evil that's out there, trust me. And once you awaken, you see just how much evil is out there. And now that you're awakened and you have these gifts, you can protect yourself. Amanda, appreciate the follow. Because everyone's saying they don't want to be awakened, they want to go back. Just because you're unawakened doesn't mean this stuff is not going on out there. If you're unawakened, there's still narcissists out there. You was getting abused by narcissists your whole life, but you didn't know you were. Now that you're awake, I would much rather know what's out there so I can move accordingly instead of being in my bubble. Because you guys got to think too, you thought you were more happier when you were unawakened, but that was a false sense of happiness. That stuff wasn't real. Now that you guys awaken, you guys can chase real happiness. Something that's not fabricated, not where the matrix is telling you to go. A lot of us, we end up getting that real self-love because we went through our isolation season. When you first awaken and you start seeing these things and you get jumped, you start being by yourself. You're like, yo, this is crazy. This is uncomfortable. I want to be around people again. And you be in isolation for a long period of time, you will love yourself. Like, that is a guarantee. And a lot of us had to go through that stuff because the big reason that we were getting manipulated our whole lives was because we didn't know how to be by ourselves. So we were tolerating a lot of very bad behavior. Everyone think back to the past moments in your childhood, your old relationships. You was tolerating some of the most demonic behavior. Unless someone actually goes through it, they're not going to understand. But you know how it is to date a narcissist and you're trying to get them to love you, but they're just doing demonic stuff day after day after day? That's because we didn't love ourselves. Our isolation season, we had to go through that. Because think about how you are now. And think about the behavior you tolerated in the past. You're not going to like put up with that stuff at all. And that's where that expression, you attract what you are, comes from. Because when you get to a certain level, you start having boundaries. You go through your isolation season. You start to love yourself. You'll still meet narcissists, but they're going to hate being around you because you no longer tolerate that behavior. And once again, I don't know how we survived up until that point we awakened without having this knowledge. Because we was literally dating demons and thinking they were regular people. You know how frustrating it is dating a narcissist and thinking they're like a regular person, that they're a human being. You're trying to have like normal conversations with this person, and it's like talking to like a toddler or something. One thing you're gonna learn is you can't conversate with a demon. You can't expect understanding from a demon. But there was a time where you thought that was possible. You would see an issue and you're like, oh, well, this is my boyfriend. This is my girlfriend. This is my sibling. This is my parent. All I gotta do is talk to them and we're gonna come to a common solution. Anytime you guys tried to come to a common solution with a narcissist, that drove you insane and you didn't know what was going on. Drove you so insane that you would have a conversation with a narcissist, and instead of leaving with clarity, you would leave feeling even more confused. If that's happened to you guys, drop ones in the chat. You talk to a narcissist trying to gain clarity, but instead you leave the conversation feeling a whole lot more confused. Some of you guys was under so much heavy witchcraft that you will go to a narcissist expecting an apology, and you will leave apologizing to that person. Once again, we was tolerating a lot of stuff that we didn't know what was going on because we didn't have this knowledge. We thought we were dealing with normal people. Come to find out, you were dating demons themselves. People that was looking at you as like a game, people that didn't want to connect with you, they just wanted control. And that is something that a lot of you guys had to come to the realization, which was a sad realization, because you thought you was with someone that loved you for you, but the whole time you was with someone that loved you on a conditional basis. A lot of people want to say, does unconditional love exist? A lot of people are on the side that it doesn't exist because 90% of people are operating with these power games and loving on a conditional basis. But there is 10% of people out there that is not playing those games. And if you guys are in this chat, there's like it's a big possibility you guys are one of those people as well, because we are on the same frequency. If you guys go by Earth Angels, Star Seeds, the Black Sheep, Scapegoats, Chosens, drop ones in the chat. Where all my empaths at? People that's very sensitive to energy, like we just feel everything, and we couldn't believe that there's people out there that would just want to use us, that just want to manipulate us, that are playing power games. And that's why we have to go through one of the worst experiences in our life to be able to wake up and see what is going on. Because trust, if we didn't have our rock bottom, if we didn't get jumped by all these people, we would still be out there thinking that everyone was like a normal person. So now you see why it had to happen, why it had to go the way that it went. Some days you would stay up crying, like, why did I have to experience that? But trust, every pain that you went through, it made you a stronger person. How you are now, imagine yourself, put yourself in a past situation that you went through where you folded. You're like Superman at this point. Like the level 5 demons that were tormenting you your whole life, now they don't want to play with you anymore. Now you're scary. Now you're the bully. Now you're the narcissist. Now you're the warlock. Because now you see through these demons and you don't allow them to do that stuff to you anymore. And I'm not joking. You guys literally be scaring people out here because now you guys have a duality about you. You guys didn't lose yourself along the way. You guys can still smile. You're still positive. You're still giving. But as soon as they start doing the games that they be doing, you're quick to flip the script real fast. Because over the years, you have been getting molded into a spiritual warrior. You're nice to the people that deserve it, but if people want to start playing, you can play right back to protect yourself. People view you from a distance. They don't see you manipulating. They don't really see you playing games. So they think that because you don't play the game, that you're naive. And because of that, that's when a lot of people got to find out the hard way that you're not one for the games. Jason, appreciate it. And that's why a lot of these narcs from your past, they don't even want to be around you anymore. But you know your energy is very big? Because even though you're not even around some of these people anymore, they still talk about you. When you have like a very magnetic aura about you, when your energy is very big and you walk away from situations that's no longer serving you, they're going to make you out to be the issue. But if you were such an issue, why are they still talking about you? Why are they still running smear campaigns on you? You probably stopped talking to someone like a year ago and like you're still their highlight in their life. They're still talking about you. Because a lot of people are going to realize that you guys are one of a kind. You guys are the 10% that is out there. And a lot of people think that they can replace your energy very easily, just to find out that that's not the case. A lot of people, they're going to self-sabotage with you guys because they can't handle your energy. And you guys see this happen a lot. You be watching people like sabotage in real time, and you be thinking to yourself, why can't people be normal? Why do they always got to switch up? Why do they got to start being weird? If you guys have noticed that in your journey, drop ones in the chat. Like your whole life, you've just been hated without cause. You're like, what am I doing? Why can't I have normal friends? That's because you guys are put here for a bigger purpose, and not everyone thinks like you guys, and not everyone has that anointing that you guys have. You guys think everyone out here is like psychic, discernment, being a good person. A majority of people out there, they just gave up a long time ago. Fire Princess, appreciate it. She says unconditional love does exist. I believe the reason we feel like there is no one like us in our inner circle is because God places his army of light in the middle of the darkness. Stay strong, friends. Exactly. That's something we be saying a lot on here as well. We be wondering, where are the other people that's like us? Where are the other like-minded people? We're all spread out like amongst the planet. We came down here like fourth night. Like we all came down here. One person's in LA, one person's in New York, one person's in Miami. Because our mission, we came here to help raise the vibration of the planet. And with these psychic gifts that we have, we are exposing illusions everywhere that we go. And every illusion that we expose, we unknowingly make the planet a better place. So every demon that you guys expose, every toxic group you guys take down, every time you go to the job, things ends up getting exposed. You guys ultimately makes the place better. You leave it better than it was, and understand that we can never see the behind the scenes of what is going on. When you guys be taking down these demons and stuff like that, you ultimately protected someone from going through trying to get manipulated by that demon. So sometimes you guys be thinking like, yo, like, why do I keep like exposing these demons? Why do they keep tripping? You doing that is like making the planet a better place. It is still trippy to go through it though. It be feeling like paranormal activity. You be around somebody and they just start tripping. You guys also got to remember that, like, it's as Jesus says it as well. If the world hated me, if the world hates you, remember it hated me first. All this stuff you're going through is exactly what Jesus had to go through. You be out there, you be dealing with like the Jesus Christ crucifixions. But then when you start to awaken and you start to understand this stuff, it's a liberating feeling. The best part of the journey is when you finally realize you were never the issue. And that takes a long time to get there, at least for some people, because logically you be thinking, if it's a majority of people doing the same thing to you, then you obviously be thinking that I'm the issue in some type of way. Once you finally start to like tell yourself, I'm not the issue, let me start doing research, let me start going down the right rabbit holes. Once you get your PhD in narcissism, like you start to see like, oh, I'm surrounded by like a lot of like crazy people. Because also remember, if you're born in a narcissistic family, all they're doing is grooming you to be around other narcissistic individuals. So if you grew up in a narcissistic family, now you're going out there and wondering, like, why do I keep attracting the same people? Why do I keep attracting the same people? That's because how you got raised by your narcissistic family, you start thinking that stuff is normal. A lot of you guys probably didn't even know you had like a bad childhood until like you left and you start talking about these things, because that was all you knew. You would go out there, you will mention something your mom or dad did, and they'll start gasping. They're like, "Whoa, are you okay?" And you're like, what do you mean? That's how much witchcraft you guys were under, and that stuff goes very deep. Because if you thought that stuff was normal, you're gonna start looking for that stuff in other people, and that's why for a lot of you guys couldn't attract that healthy love. If they weren't trying to manipulate you, if they weren't being toxic, then you didn't want it. But if you started dating someone and they start to be like toxic with you, you're like, yo, this feels like home. This is amazing. Like, you remind me of my mom, like how my mom treated me. You reminded me how my dad treated me. That's why for people like, if you got raised in a narcissistic family system, you guys are playing life on hard mode. You guys have been fighting since birth, and your childhood has pretty much programmed all these different things to happen to you. But me, myself, I have a knowing that we signed a soul contract. So you guys getting born in narcissistic family systems is ultimately what you signed up for. Because we knew how the world was going to be, and we knew we had to get this information from a young age. But even though we signed up for this stuff, it's still a hard life to experience. Because even after you walk away from your family, you still got to deal with the witchcraft that they have put on you. Because after you kind of heal a little bit and then you stop attracting narcissists, it does not stop there. This stuff goes very deep. Once you heal a little bit, you stop attracting narcissists, you're like, okay, maybe I can date again. Maybe like I did the healing work, then boom, you attract an avoidant. First you had the narcissist that probably reminded you of your dad and your mom. You pass that level, and now you attract someone that's emotionally available, like one of your parents. How many of you guys had that pipeline happen? It was a narcissist, and then it was the avoidant, and then after that, you probably did not even want to date anymore. You're like, yo, this is insane. Why do I gotta have the hard life? Why do everyone I date gotta be another lesson? Drop ones in the chat. DJ Slick, appreciate it. Some people, when they signed that soul contract, they signed up for a very easy life. Some people sign that soul contract, they're like, yo, you'll meet your high school sweetheart, you'll get married in high school, maybe middle school, you'll find your partner, you will have a happy family, this and that. You guys signed up to meet every single demon in the book. Everyone you meet is some type of like life learning lesson that evolves you. All the lessons you've learned, like at this point, like you're pretty much Superman. Because a lot of you guys have probably never had a normal relationship because you signed up for like the hardest mission. But you guys aren't looking at that like while you're going through it, because you don't even remember signing it. All you're asking yourself is like, why am I going through this? Like, is everyone like this out here? Well, it's not possible because my friend just got married. My friend is on their like 5th anniversary. So why does this stuff keep happening to me? Because this stuff doesn't just stop at the narcissist and the avoidant. There is so much out there. You be thinking like, why do I gotta learn all this stuff? To your friends, if you bring up narcissist, avoid, they don't even know what you're talking about. You tell them avoidant, like, what is that? Like, what's going on? What? Their algorithm isn't showing this stuff. It's showing them like their reality back to them. Then you bring up narcissists, they're like, yo, that's not even like, there's not that many narcissists out there. A large percentage of reality, they think narcissism is like not that common of an issue. But because you have to go through this stuff and see it with your own eyes, you see that this is an epidemic. If you guys look it up on Google, they say that narcissism, it's only like 5% of society is a narcissist. Do you guys believe that? Is there only 5% of narcissists out there? They be trying to cover this stuff up because also know this: we live in a narcissistic society. Narcissism is very glamorized. In this society, it's like the more narcissistic you can be, the more society is gonna glamorize you. So of course they're gonna say it's only like 5% on the internet. How much do you guys think? How much do you guys think? Like, what's the percentage? Let's get it from the awakened souls, the ones that sees what's going on. Because you can kind of just go off of like your own reality. Because if there was only 5% of narcissists out there, that means you'll probably only meet one like twice a year, once a year. You guys be running into these people like every especially if you work a 9 to 5, you guys be running into these people like every day. Ooh, 95, you think that high? I think all our numbers will differ, but we can all agree that, well, a majority of us can agree that at least it's way more than 5%. Because if you go off your own reality, we keep running into these people. People keep trying to like cover it up. You try to open up to other people that someone's narcissistic, and they start covering up immediately. How you knew this stuff was a matrix and how like a lot of people were in on it, when you start trying to point out a narcissist and people start saying, that's just how they are. You just got to give them space. You made them do that. You got to get away from those people. Like Rico said, run immediately. Enablers are just as bad as a narcissist. Flying monkeys, monitoring spirits, they're just as bad. Some of you guys be trying to compromise with these people like, oh, you know what? I know they're neutral. They're not as narcissistic, so they're still good. Hey, this is like we're like in a zombie apocalypse pretty much, and these narcissists have people brainwashed. And you can deal with some people that is like kind of neutral in a situation, that is not really trying to be a part of it. Neutral people is like ultimately going to go against you. If people are watching you get actively abused and they don't want to say anything about it, that's an op as well. And a lot of people have that's like a controversial take. People don't want to take it that far, but if you've been through it, you can see these things with your own eyes. One example that's going to happen when you deal with like a narcissist is like if you get into it with them and then you end up separating from them, they will always send somebody your way. They'll send an enabler to you. They'll send a flying monkey, and they all run the same. Once you guys have that pattern recognition, once you guys really start tapping into these gifts, you start noticing that this stuff just keeps repeating itself. You start to see that a lot of society, they're just running a script. Narcissism, they're like their own little matrix system. They all do the same thing. First, they're going to send that person to you, and you guys have to go through the fire to get this information. If you guys are in here, you're saying facts. I went through that too. Yeah, you guys went through hell to get this information. Esoteric wisdom, that comes from suffering. And if you guys have made it to this chat, congratulations. You guys have passed a certain amount of tests. But that means you guys did not have an easy life. Because what probably happened to you is you dealt with a narcissist. They sent you a person your way. You thought that person was genuine. You opened up to that person, and they start doing the witchcraft on you. For you guys that's just coming in here, that might be a bomb, but witchcraft definitely is a real thing. If you guys believe in witchcraft, drop ones in the chat. Ones in the chat. Appreciate the heart me. That's another good thing about like having these psychic gifts. You will be able to see through the witchcraft and it won't be able to affect you. But when you have these people that's trying to get you to open up, they get information about you and use said information to try to destroy you, that is witchcraft. And someone said it right there, mirroring. Mirroring is another witchcraft tactic. You guys ever had someone mirror you? Drop ones in the chat. You're probably so traumatized from people. You're like shaking in a corner. Like, who can I trust? Who can I trust? Someone's going to come your way. It's like, hey, are you okay? What happened to you was bad. I don't agree with. That is mirroring and that is witchcraft. And you guys don't fall for that stuff. And these people are very crafty in how they'll get information from you. New levels, new devils. When you deal with someone that's mirroring on a level 2 or 3, it's very easy to detect, but then they start getting more craftier. If you have someone is so advanced in manipulation, them trying to get information out of you, you will see someone like wherever like you talk to this individual, they're always like standoffish. They never really want to talk to you. They're never really smiling. They're to themselves. But as soon as you get into it with somebody, or as soon as like you're going through something, now they come into your energy. Now they're smiling. What they do is they give you back your exact personality, because psychologically you're going to be like, oh, this person's like me. And then you're going to open up and get obliterated immediately. In this reality, guys, you can't really trust that many people, and I hate to say it. And you guys have lifelong experience to know how true that actually is. You got to find like at least like 1 or 2 people that you can trust and let it rock. Some of you guys are taking the safe route and being like, I'm just going to be to myself. Because you see how manipulative that is, right? You're out there, you probably just got into it with somebody. You're thinking, who can I trust? That's horrible. I just want to open up to somebody. And you get someone coming up to you and is acting so understanding. They know exactly what to tell you to get you to drop your guard down. Everything you're going through, they're like, yeah, that person like that. That's someone that plays both sides. And a lot of you guys think people that play both sides, they're neutral, they're going to be good. If you allow someone to be around you that plays both sides and you keep that person around you for too long, they could end up destroying you. Because that information that you're giving them, you're thinking it's just going to be between you and that person. But how many of you guys like ever told someone something, and then after the conversation, you're like, why did I tell him that? You start getting anxiety. Drop ones in the chat. You talk to someone, you feel understanding, you feel like they had your back, you feel like they're empathetic. Then as soon as you walk away from them, you start feeling like, yo, why did I say that? I shouldn't have said that. That is your clairsentience, guys. Remember, clairsentience is clear feeling. You be feeling that you're not supposed to be talking to people, but sometimes you try to like override that. And sometimes your discernment and your psychic gifts will be so tapped in that sometimes when you talk to somebody, you'll like blank out when you're talking to somebody. You'll be talking like da 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 da. That is like your higher self, your psychic gifts kicking in and letting you know that you're not supposed to speak to that person. Because one thing in this reality, demons aren't like they are on the movies and the TV shows. In the movies and the TV shows, they make it seem like demons are the ones with the horns, the fire, like just looking ugly and all these different things. These people look like regular people. You guys probably dated somebody that was like attractive, your type, this and that, just for them to be the most demonic person of all time. These people know how to blend in, and that's why God gave us these abilities in the first place, so we can be able to detect this stuff. It's when you guys want to start ignoring your gifts. Some of you guys be having those conversations with people, and then you blank out. God is telling you stop talking, and you're like, God, wait, I'm trying to remember. And then you're trying to remember for 10 seconds, and then you tell that person that thing. God and your gifts can only do so much. You got to meet God and your gifts halfway. You can be seeing everything and how it is, but some of you guys be letting nostalgia override you. You guys be letting like you don't want to be alone override you, which I understand, because also having these gifts doesn't mean like you're going to be all knowing. It's going to make it a lot more probable that we'll be able to avoid a demon, but sometimes you're still going to get got. And that's the honest truth, guys. Because you guys are still empathetic beings. You guys still want to see the best in people. You don't want to get rid of that completely, but you still got to see things at face value and trust yourself. And understand that every time you do get got, that is more information to make you stronger. So never look at one situation as like a bad situation. Never look at like someone just manipulated you. Don't be thinking like, I thought I had discernment, I'm not really tapped in. We're all gonna get got. Eventually it's gonna come for us. New levels, new devils. Even the level that I'm at, I'm gonna meet something one day that I've never encountered before. And that's happened to you guys as well. Sometimes you guys be around people and you're like, I haven't seen this before. Like this is very interesting. And it's that same curiosity that you guys have is the reason that you guys be elevating very fast, because you guys are in your head and you just know how it is to be you. But I'll let you know this right now. Everyone out there is not growing. Everyone out there is not thinking on a deep level like you guys. Some people stopped mentally growing like a long time ago. You could be talking to like an older person and they're like a kid in an adult body because they stopped growing where their trauma was like the worst. So some older people, it's like you're dealing like with a high schooler. But you guys, the reason that you guys made it to the other side is because you guys keep asking why, 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 why is that like that? Why do I got to work a 9 to 5? Why is that person doing that? That gets you into a lot of trouble with people that still operate within the system. But for the collective, for your psychic gifts, that's the most amazing thing you guys can do. Don't ever stop being curious, guys. I know sometimes you be like researching, doing all these different things, and the more you do it, the more disconnected from society that you feel. But I'll say this, I'd rather be on this side than that side. Because when I was unawakened and I didn't know what was going on, that was the worst time of my life. I was depressed. It made me hit rock bottom. I kept overextending myself to people that wasn't reciprocating. All you guys in the chat, would you rather be on this side? Drop ones in the chat. Or would you rather be back on the unawakened side? Drop twos in the chat. Cause yeah, these like gifts make it a little bit lonely, but hey, I'd rather be by myself than around fake people, to be honest. Being around fake people is like is very like dangerous. People think it's just something annoying to go through. These people are doing some very crazy things. And if you guys didn't go through it yourselves, you wouldn't believe it. But once again, if you're in this chat, you understand what I'm talking about. You're dropping ones in the chat. I know you went through the same exact things. Once again, we had to get jumped to get these abilities that we had. Because one thing that's going to happen when you start awakening to the truth, the Agent Smiths, they're not going to want you to get, they don't want you to get that information. Because the more you learn, the more you become a threat to the system. And that's why when you first awaken, all these sleeper agents got activated within your family members and your friends. Because they're trying to shame you. They're trying to make you feel isolated. They're trying to exclude you. So you can be like, you know what? I don't want to learn this stuff. It's making people go against me. I'm going to go back into the matrix. Hey, but you guys are very curious people. There's nothing stopping you guys, honestly. You guys could be homeless. You're still going to be doing research. You guys could really be going through the worst of the worst. You're like, I'm going to figure this out. Anointed, appreciate it. I've always felt like Einstein to the average Joe. But in here, I feel very humbled. And I realize just how very little I actually know amongst you all. Yeah, that's how I be feeling. A lot of intelligent people in here. That's why I like doing these live streams. Because I can finally talk to people where they understand what I'm talking about. And we can just bounce ideas off of each other. Yeah, but that curiosity that you guys have is the reason that you guys have gotten so far. Some people subconsciously know that there's more out there to learn. They be seeing things, but they choose to ignore it because a lot of people are just comfortable in their bubble. You're probably not going to believe this, but there's some people out there that know they're getting cheated on, but they choose not to see the truth because they don't want to step out into the unknown. A lot of people are scared of it. But because you guys are so curious, you guys keep getting thrusted into the unknown. And that's why you keep be dealing with these crazy situations. That's why your life feels like a TV show. You be thinking like, am I really experiencing this right now? Sometimes you be thinking like, yo, like I don't know if this is true. But then as soon as you get on TikTok, there's a guy with a beanie saying your same exact situation. And you're like, oh, I'm not crazy. This is exactly what's going on. Because these people are doing some weird things out there. And the crazy part about it is you guys are the 10%. So to us, it's weird, but to them, it's normal. And they're looking at us like we're the demons. They're looking at us like we're the weird ones. You guys won't probably believe this, but it's like us being positive, us being genuine, they think that's demonic. And they get very like, they start targeting us and all these different things. If you guys have experienced that, drop ones in the chat. You just try to be positive. You walk into the room like, hey, how you doing? Now they hate you. You're like, yo, what did I do? Now, sometimes you got to kind of like hide your personality. Misery loves company, guys. There's like a lot of people that's traumatized out there. And they're fighting demons. And if you give any hint to other people that are fighting demons that you're healed, you become a target immediately. How dare you smile? You think the world's a good place? You're like, oh, damn. My bad. Heaven and hell is a state of consciousness. You guys be experiencing a heaven on earth regardless of the bad things that happens to you guys. You guys be going through things. You're like, oh, okay. What is this going to teach me? Life is happening for me, not to me. That demons hear that and they'll start despising you guys. They're not they're not thinking like that. You guys could get your car towed and you're like, oh, I'm about to get a better car tomorrow. Their car gets towed, they're going to start attacking people for the next week or so. Yeah, people hate positivity when they're not healed themselves. You will also notice it in these people when those same people that's like always depressed, you'll see that if you're positive, they're mad. But as soon as you're going through something, as soon as like you're a little sad, as soon as like you're dealing with something, those people are happy, or start getting happy. You can start seeing them get amped up. They start to get a little bit more talkative. They want to figure out what's going on because a lot of people, they take your misery as entertainment. Epidemic, appreciate it. We all have abilities that are locked into our vertebrae to unlock. We have to unlock all our chakras, soul energy. Facts. But how many of you guys have noticed that? Like, there's some people around you where the more depressed you are, the happier they are. But the more happy you are, the more depressed they are. Drop ones in the chat. If you have people like that around you, that's a monitoring spirit. And once again, you guys got to be able to discern this stuff and be able to get away from them when you know you're dealing with a demon. Some of you guys have elevated where you can start moving like that. Some of you guys are still like in the give every single person the benefit of the doubt. And I'm not saying to not give no one the benefit of the doubt, but once you start having these gifts, start moving accordingly. As soon as you know you're dealing with a demon, it's time to just start like, I don't get away from that person. Because sometimes like you'll be around a demon, but you don't think it could be that bad. You guys be trying to make little like certain behaviors slide. You see a red flag, but you're like, all right, I can tolerate that. The red flags you be seeing is like a sneak peek to like who they really are. Some of you guys probably stayed around someone for too long and you saw something you never expected. And I'm not completely against being around people sometimes to study them, because you're alchemizing the energy pretty much. Like you're studying it, you're using it to strengthen your discernment. But if you do that, you guys got to learn when to get out. And that has to be a skill that you have to learn. And you'll be able to feel when it's time to leave. But there's some people out there, if you stay around and they keep getting weirder and weirder, staying around giving proximity to the wrong person for too long can literally create a stalker for the rest of your life. How many of you guys currently have stalkers right now? Drop ones in the chat. How many of you guys dealing with G stalkers, cyber stalkers? Some of these things could have been avoided. We got to take responsibility. I know I need to take responsibility. Some of these people, if we cut them off as soon as we notice the weird behavior, we wouldn't be dealing with this stuff right now. But sometimes, hey, we gotta learn our lessons. We gotta go through it. And when you are truly walking in your spiritual gifts, when you are truly seeing reality for what it is, you're gonna start noticing you're dealing with a lot of delusional people out there. And you guys got to be able to like put people like in buckets. Like that's what I do to avoid me getting like mad or letting this stuff affect me. This stuff affects you when you start thinking everyone is normal. Like when I was younger, I thought everyone was a normal person. So when they were delusional, I'm like, what is going on? And I would be having the worst time of my life. But now when I talk to people and I have all this knowledge and they start being delusional, I just put them in the box. Like, oh, this is a delusional person. And now when they start doing delusional things, I'm not confused because you're who I know you are. So I'm like, okay. And if I could help it, I won't be around you. But for some reason, we got to operate with these people. So you can be the most isolated person in the world. Eventually, you're going to have to operate with someone out there. I hate to say that to you guys. I hate to break it to you. I know we all want our own island to be away from these demons. That's not the case. So we got to operate with these people. And once again, they look like normal people. So you got to use your psychic gifts and know when you're dealing with someone that's delusional, when someone's demonic, and when someone is out there trying to take you out. If it was up to me, guys, I will give everyone a shirt to let them know like what is like kind of wrong with them. That will make society like a way better place. A way better place. If you guys think that will make society a better place, drop ones in the chat. Like imagine you saw someone from the back and you're like, oh, let me go talk to them. You tap on their shoulder, they turn around, you see avoidant narcissist, you're like, oh, my bad, never mind. And you can go on your way. I feel like that will make society a way better place. But like I said, these people look normal. They're out there operating like they're normal people. When we have these jobs and stuff like that, they don't like really do psych evaluations on people. So you're going to find yourself having to like interact with these people. Catherine, appreciate that. Thank you. But like I said, once you guys are very tapped into your gifts and you be seeing how people operate and stuff like that, you can start moving accordingly. Because yes, humans are complex, but at the core, like they all do the same thing. You'll be able to see this stuff coming from like a mile away. The smear campaigns, the manipulation, the accusing you of doing what they're doing. Now you're able to see it as clear as day, and then you can start moving accordingly. And if you guys end up getting got out there, there's only two reasons why that probably happens. One, you're probably dealing with like a new level, new devil. It's kind of the same thing, a little bit different. So you go through it, you learn the lesson, walk away and get stronger. And two, it's like you just allow these things to happen to you because you start to just give people the benefit of the doubt. If you guys right now are in this chat and you guys are still in the mindset of like you got to communicate with people, you got to try to like come to a common ground, figure out what's going on, try to get out of that immediately, try to get to the advanced level like the rest of us, because you're going to understand that trying to like explain yourself is one of like the biggest mistakes you can do in this reality. Esmeralda, appreciate it. Thank you. And once again, we got forged in the fire. The only reason I'm able to say that with confidence is because I went through it. At one point in my life, I'm like, yo, look, we have us as empaths, especially if we have clairsentience, we can give the best conversations in the world. We have like the best communication skills. We can communicate with people and we can try to figure out what is going on. But remember, we're not dealing with normal people. If I'm talking to one of you guys in the chat that's on my frequency, I will communicate with you guys. When you guys know you're dealing with a demon, you got to get used to not getting an apology from people. You got to get used to not getting closure, not getting clarity. Because what's going to happen if you guys try to explain yourself to a demon? Drop those answers in the chat, guys. Are you going to walk away from that conversation like, oh, you know what? I'm glad I opened up. That was an amazing conversation. Thank you. Or what's going to happen? Chloe Boom said it first. Chloe is the winner. They're going to gaslight you. And if you guys are still thinking you're dealing with normal people and you get gaslit, it's going to be the most annoying thing to go through. Because people in this reality, when they know they can't challenge you on an intellectual standpoint, when they know that you're spiritually gifted, they will just start saying some of the most dumbest things you have ever heard. And sometimes you'll be thinking to yourself, like, this is so dumb right now. That is it right? Is this what's happening right now? Don't let that stuff affect you. That's why sometimes I'm saying, if you know you're dealing with a demon, you gotta silently cut off people. If you guys are in here and you're not silently cutting off people yet, get to that level. Some people out there don't deserve an explanation. They know what they're doing. Some people, you're going to open up to them. They're going to start playing dumb immediately. And then you're going to think to yourself like, oh, you know what? Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they didn't know what they're doing. Maybe I'm not seeing it correctly. People know what they're doing, guys. That's the manipulation tactic. They play dumb. They have plausible deniability to fall back on. They'd be like, I was just joking. I didn't mean it like that. There's some people out there, they're waiting for you to explain, and they already have their script for you. Remember, we're in a Truman Show. Everyone's running a script. They know that you're probably going to see what they're doing, and you're going to come and try to get explanation, and they're ready for you. That's why some people, if you're truly operating in your psychic gifts, and you see what they're doing, and you cut them off without an explanation, you're going to freak out a lot of people. Because a lot of people aren't doing that. Remember, we're the small percentage of the world. They're running a script. They're like, oh, this person's probably going to try to get an explanation. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that. If you get to the level where you're able to cut off a demon and not need an explanation, you have leveled up. And that is going to piss the demons off. Because if you don't give people a chance to manipulate you, they start going crazy. I know a lot of you guys have experienced that in real time. If you guys have made these demons out here malfunction, go crazy, drop ones in the chat. And that's a beautiful thing to see. Because we're out here fighting demons. Like, remember guys, we're on a team. We're on a team. All 500 of you guys in here, we're on the same frequency. You guys think you're alone, you're not. Whatever you're dealing with, we're probably dealing with it as well. So all these ones in the chat brings a tear to my eye. It's a beautiful thing. Making a demon malfunction for the things that they cause. Because remember, you're not even going out here picking a fight with a demon. You just defend yourself. And what's some way to defend yourselves in spiritual warfare, guys? Drop some of the answers in the chat. Some ways to defend yourself in spiritual warfare. If someone's trying to get a reaction out of you, if someone's poking you, how do we protect ourselves, guys? Do we fight fire with fire? Do we start manipulating back? Got some people saying silence. Yeah, silence is gonna be your best friend in this spiritual warfare, guys. Know when to say something, when you don't have to say something. Ignoring people. Sometimes you can just agree with somebody. Praying is pretty powerful. Gray rocking people. We're in a spiritual warfare, guys, but that does not mean that we are possums. We have a lot of things to protect ourselves. Our whole lives, we were probably thinking that we're unlucky. Why are we going through this? Why does this have to happen to us? Once you fully awaken and you truly start walking in your gifts, you actually start to realize you're very powerful. And you're so powerful, they have to do something to manipulate you to let you know that you're not powerful. And that's why one of the most powerful things you guys can do is take your power back. Realize who you are. Cut off that soul tie. Walk in your power. And these demons are going to be very afraid of you. Everyone in the chat, write, I take my power back, or I call my power back. And don't just write it. Say it out loud. Words are very powerful. Words are spells. Don't just say it. Feel you getting empowered. That's what they don't want you guys to realize. When you guys was in that relationship with the narcissist, they was draining you that whole time. Before you got into that relationship with the narcissist, you was a pretty positive person. Your skin was glowing. Everyone could say like, oh, it's a pretty happy person. And by the end of that narcissistic relationship, you didn't even recognize yourself. You were lethargic. You wasn't really on your habits. You were depressed. All you could really talk about was that person. But a beautiful thing's gonna happen when you walk away from that person. Hefe, appreciate it with the galaxy. Thank you. But a beautiful thing's gonna happen when you walk away from that narcissist. Because when you walk away, you start calling your power back. They probably manipulate you to make you think that you're dependent on them. They were complaining about you. They were talking mess about you to other people. But as soon as you walk away from them, if a narcissist, a warlock, a destiny swapper, if they did any like energy siphoning to you guys, no, none of that stuff is permanent. Your power, your energy is for you and you only. And people can't like really purposely take away your energy from you. For people to take your energy, you got to sign an energetic contract with them and willingly give it away. And that's why you guys got to be aware to these things, because a lot of people don't have this knowledge. And a lot of people are giving away their energy without even knowing it. It's just like what's like the myth of the vampires in the media. It's like vampires have to knock on the door to come in. That's basically real life. Like energy vampires are gonna come your way, but you allow them to come into your energy. And that's why they try to manipulate you to get said energy. And they have a bunch of different manipulation tactics that they'll try to do to get your energy. But the beautiful thing is, like, what's right above me? What's right above me? They'll manipulate you, but once you have your gifts, you're able to see through it. And once again, it's up to you guys to not gaslight yourselves. Because honey traps are a real thing. The Matrix be studying you guys. The monitoring spirits be studying you guys. They be seeing what are you guys weak for. And they'll send you something where someone, for all the discernment that you have, it doesn't mean you're untouchable. Sometimes people say that, well, that wouldn't have happened to you if you had discernment. Nah, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Just because you have discernment doesn't mean you're untouchable. You can have discernment, they study you, they send you something where someone like mirrors you. You think that that's a good person. You end up being with the person. And love is blind. That expression actually that comes from somewhere. Because love is blind. Once you kind of like fall for somebody, once you're in a soul tie with somebody, you throw discernment out the window. Something you would have caught probably a couple months ago, now you're no longer able to catch it because now you're in a soul tie with a demon. And once a demon knows they have you, once that soul tie is connected, then they'll drop that mask and you'll be horrified. People be dropping the mask and then you be like, damn, who is this person? You be not thinking it's even a real thing. You're like, okay, maybe that's like a one-off thing. But once you're in that soul tie with that person, it's like even with the mask drop, you can't easily leave that person. Some people will tell you like, well, why didn't you just leave? You knew they did that. You did that. You're under witchcraft. And people trying to like judge you from the outside, they don't really know what you're going under or how they're manipulating you and all these different things. To other people, they can probably see it as clear as day. But right now you're under witchcraft. And even though they're doing this bad thing to you, even though they cheated on you, even though they stole from you, when they come home, you see an absolute angel in your face. And every time they apologize, every time they say they're never going to do it again, you take it at face value. Because all you can remember, because that witchcraft spell has you in limerence, has you thinking that honeymoon, that person that you first met, that's who they were. And you do have your psychic gifts, but at that moment in time, you're not really tapped into it. And once again, it's like you're being gaslit to give your energy, because sometimes you'll probably have a feeling, you probably try to confront them, and they'll gaslight you immediately. Clairvoyancy, guys, your dreams be telling you what be going on. Sometimes you guys are with somebody, you dream that they're cheating on you, you confront the person, and they get straight to witchcraft. They're like, what are you talking about? I would never do that. What? Come on now, you know me. I've done this for you, I've done that for you. You think I'll do this to you? Probably give you guys PTSD by doing that, but that's how it is. And that's why, once again, like when you have these psychic gifts, you can't really, like, if you know something at your core, if you have those messages, you got to see these things and start moving accordingly. You guys are never alone. You guys have your spirit guides. You have God. But then you be frustrating God because he be trying to tell you, and you're like, you don't know what you're talking about. This is my person. I love them forever. A lot of warlocks out there, guys. Honey traps, succubus, incubus. The dating game right now is very, like, polluted. Social media is making it a whole lot worse, because a lot of people, instead of them healing, instead of them doing their shadow work, instead of them getting better, they'll rather chase dopamine than to heal. A lot of you guys probably thought that the more you healed, the more you became a stronger person, the more you discern, that dating will become easy. That's what they start to advertise, like, especially like in spirituality. They're like, all right, if you heal, you get to a certain level, you'll get to a point where now everyone you run into is a good person. That's not what's gonna happen. Because the more you elevate, the less pool of people you have to choose from. A lot of you guys probably had the most options of people to date, the most friends when you were your worst version. If that was true, drop ones in the chat. Now that you're spiritually, like, aligned, you're spiritually evolved, you're like, where's all the spiritual people at? Where's all the people with clairvoyancy? Where's all the people with claircognizance? For a lot of you guys, if you didn't have social media, you probably think you were the only one out there thinking like this. Thinking you were like the lone survivor. That's one thing I could say about the soul contracts. For all the stuff, for all the bad that we signed up, thank God we got born in a time when there's social media. Because after awakening, if I didn't find social media, I'll probably still be out there thinking I'm crazy. Roaming the planet, just talking to myself like, yo, this is, all right, this is insane. Getting fired from, like, my 9th job, just thinking I'm the issue. Like, why do you get fired? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. One day I just started thinking like this. I don't know what's going on with me. You know how validating it is to get online and see people that's, like, thinking like you? Epidemic, appreciate it. That's good. I'm not alone. And that's why I named this channel You're Not Alone. Everyone drop YNA in the chats. YNA in the chats. You guys are not alone. For all this crazy stuff you be going through, you're like, yo, like, am I tripping? Am I crazy? But then you get online and start seeing these videos, start seeing the comment section, and you're like, my people. My people. And it's like an amazing feeling. Missy, appreciate the follow. You start to realize there's this thing called the collective out there. We're just, like, all spread out. Also know that when it comes to the whole dating scene, when it comes to you guys being tapped into your psychic abilities, you're going to you're eventually going to attract the people that's for you, but it's more so quality over quantity. Before, when you were awakened and before you had these gifts, like, you had all, like, the dating opportunities. But after you awaken, it's like you can't date like you dated in the past. Epidemic, appreciate it. Thank God, holy Jesus, I'm not alone. Thank you. But yeah, if you try to date like how you dated in the past, that's not going to go in your favor. You're going to go out there, you're going to attract a demon trying to destiny swap with you. You guys got to remember, your energy is rare. It's one of a kind. You guys are like a rare Pokemon out there, because once again, everyone out there is not seers. Everyone out there is not, like, seeing these things. A lot of people are still within the matrix. And if they're still in the matrix, that's a potential enemy. And the lonely thing about that is that person that is a potential enemy to you, if they are around people that's on a similar frequency as them, they're normal. They're like a normal individual. But your energy, you be pulling out demonic stuff out of people that probably never did anything that was demonic, because you be exposing the deepest, darkest secrets that's within the person. Rise of a hero, appreciate it. You've been disliked since middle school. Hey, that's what comes with this journey. Hated your whole life without cause. And that's why for a lot of you guys can notice someone is demonic. You guys got these psychic gifts. You come into an environment. There's this one guy, let's call him Jacob. Jacob just bought everyone like drinks from Starbucks. You got your one coworker's like, Jacob's amazing. This guy's like, he's just amazing. Everyone's just gassing up Jacob. And the whole time you're just there like, that's a demon. That's a demon. But you can't say anything because in this matrix, having these psychic abilities and speaking out on the truth makes you a target immediately. And once again, we had to go through the pain to understand that. Because for a lot of us, when we first awaken and start seeing these things, we was telling everybody. We awakened like, oh my God, this is what's going on, guys. You thought you would be Superman. You thought you was going to save everybody. You was like looking at your family members and friends like, come on, guys. Come on. Trust me. I know the truth. In hindsight now, like looking at that, we be like, why did we do that? How many of you guys did that? Drop ones in the chat. Like now that you're on the other side, you're like, yo, that's actually like the dumbest thing you could actually do. But when you first awaken, you're like manic for a little bit. You're like, I'm gonna save everybody. You start unleashing information on people, and they be looking at you like you're a crazy person. And in that moment, you just have so much information, you don't even know that you are just going too far. You start getting pissed off. You're like, why don't they see? Hey, imagine like one day, like you're like chilling with your friend, right? Like look at like your friend's perspective. Like imagine like one day you're chilling with your friend, you're just watching TV. You say goodbye to you go home, your friend chilling. You come the next day, like, yo, what's up? You're in the Matrix. You can't work 9 to 5. You gotta like really put yourself in their perspective. Like they don't like, what are you talking about right now? That's why people be thinking that you be going crazy. But once again, you have to learn the hard way. You can't be telling people these things. For some of us, we learn like very fast. But we're all different. Some of us, it took us a minute. It took me a minute. I was trying to wake up people for like 6 months. I'm like, yo, like maybe I just gotta say it a little bit differently. Maybe I just gotta like talk slower. Maybe I can't start there. Maybe I gotta start here and then work my way up. Maybe I gotta get the right videos. So I was just annoying if you knew me around those 6 months, I was like one of the worst people to be around. They wanted to keep talking about TV shows, the regular stuff we were just talking about last week. And now I'm trying to talk about how we gonna escape this matrix. You know how crazy that sounds to like someone that like has never really tapped into this information. So once again, we learned through the fire. After 6 months, at least for me, some of you guys was 1 month, some of you guys was 2 months. Some of you guys to this day, you're like, I'm gonna get through to them. They'll learn one day. But eventually you get to the point where you're like, oh, you know what? I can't do that. Maybe I gotta plant seeds. Because never underestimate how strong planting a seed can actually be. Because one day they might start awakening and they'll remember like years ago when you said that one piece of information. But to go back to the whole Jacob story, that's how it's gonna be. That's how you gotta treat this information as well. If you're seeing it and no one else can see it, just keep that information to yourself. Because also being able to see through reality, having these psychic gifts, you're going to have this strong sense of justice. You're going to want truth. You're going to want everyone to see what you're seeing. That's going to make you a target immediately. If Jacob just bought everyone Starbucks drinks, because that's like witchcraft in itself. Like people giving gifts sometimes to people, that's like putting them under a witchcraft spell. Sometimes people get a gift from somebody. It's like they cannot do no wrong. They're actively like traumatizing you, but they be like, well, I know they're a good person because they bought me that Starbucks drink a long time ago. You got to know, like, when you're dealing with people that's under witchcraft, think about this as well. The matrix system as itself is a macro level witchcraft spell. And then you have like many matrix systems out there as well. Jacob, the narcissist, just created a matrix system by putting people under that witchcraft. And if those people are under witchcraft and you're trying to wake up someone before they're ready, they will turn into an enemy against you. So let's say Jacob, it has everyone in that office under mind control, under brainwash, under black magic. And then you start noticing little things Jacob is doing to you, like the little like side jokes they do. He's trying to humble you sometimes in front of other people. That's something a lot of people are gonna do to you on this journey. You guys are gonna shine very bright. You guys are gonna be very intelligent. You guys are gonna have these psychic gifts. So now you're gonna attract people that just wants to humble you. Like it's like a magnet for those types of people. If that happens to you guys, drop ones in the chat. They can't even leave you alone. Like you would think that, all right, I'm in the office. You start peeping things out because you guys are also very deep thinkers. You guys are always thinking. So when you go into that office, other people are just thinking, how can I do the best job ever? You go into that office, you're like a silent observer. You start piecing everything together. You walk in and after 30 seconds, you're like, all right, that guy's manipulating that person. That person's the narcissist. That person's a flying monkey. That person's sucking up. You got everyone's psychological analysis like within the first day. So you start seeing these things and you start telling yourself that, hey, look, I'm just going to mind my business because obviously if I mind my business, that means they're not going to bother me. In this reality, like everything's backwards, guys. For all the new people just popping in here, first off, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm You're Not Alone. I make a lot of content on spiritual warfare. If you guys are new to this journey, I'm not trying to give you guys psychosis. So maybe you might want to step out if this information is a little bit too revealing. But once again, this is a very backwards world. Up is down, left is right, right is left. In this reality, you would think to yourself that minding your business will have people leave you alone. But honestly, minding your business makes some people get pissed off for some reason. You're literally like, you guys know, like when you drive up to like a stoplight and like someone like, you probably got into it with a car or something, and then like you get to the stoplight, and then the car gets here, and then the guy, girl starts screaming at you, whatnot. You be like using logic. You're like, in that situation, I mind my business. Don't look at the person, and I'll be good. Light turns green, you're able to drive off. You try to apply that same logic in real, like around other people, it does not work. Mela, I'm gonna pin this right now because that's exactly what I was thinking. It don't work. They hunt you down. We're in a spiritual warfare, guys. You guys got a bounty on your head. The more you heal, the more you do your shadow work, the more positive you are, the more that's just going to piss people off. You minding your business, it seems insane to say this out loud, but you're going to mind your business. They're going to look at you and think, who do you think you are? Why do you think you don't get to talk? Why do you think you don't get to play the game? Because remember, guys, once you start being able to see through this reality and know 90% of people are playing power games, they get mad when you don't want to play the game itself. You notice the politics, you notice the fake laughing, you notice the people trying to suck up to people. You literally be here like, I'm just trying to make my check or go home. Or if it's not in a job environment, you're like, I'm just trying to go out into society and make my way back home. When you guys vibrate at a certain level, you're going to have these things called boss battles. You'll be minding your business and immediately get targeted by somebody. You'll be minding your business and then someone's going to come up to you and a boss level meter is going to appear below them. But as we were talking about earlier, when you're very tapped in, there's ways to defend. There's ways to defend yourself. Because like I said, one thing a lot of people are going to try to do to you is humble you. That's going to be like their main thing they're going to try to go to do. Some people hate that you mind your business because you're not giving them information that they can use against you. Another weird thing in this reality, guys, is you're probably a normal person. You think that everyone that's having a conversation with you is genuine and you're just trying to connect with people. Because, yeah, that seems like a normal thing, right? Like, hi, my name is YNA. Your name is such and such. Oh, that's cool. You do that. You do that. Da, da, da. And you're connecting. A lot of people are not thinking like that, guys. A lot of people thrive off of control. Some people are just having a conversation with you so they can get information out of you. And we go back to talking about monitoring spirits. When you're at a job too and they're trying to figure you out and you're not giving them the information that they want, if you do give that information, that's like, oh, this is how people be thinking. They're like, oh, this is a childhood trauma. I can use that. I can use that in the future. Oh, they get triggered by this. I can use that in the future. You be minding your business. Someone out there is planning a humiliation ritual on you. And a lot of you guys have went through it throughout your life to know exactly how to handle it. It's still annoying when you got to go through it. Because people think that you're the one. They think that just because you're empath. And this is like another thing. Remember, up is down, left is right, right is left. People think that because you're kind and you're laughing and that you're positive, demons equate that to weakness. I never really figured that out. I don't know why, but they see you being like, they assume that you never went through something. They assume that you don't know what's going on, and they just take it that you're weak and you're gonna allow them to do what they're gonna do on you. And the funny thing about that too is you guys probably went through like way worse than these people. If you guys have made it to this frequency, you made it to this chat, you guys had some of the hardest lives out there and have been dealing with people trying you your whole life. But people, Agent Smiths, demons, they take everything at a surface level type of way. They're like, if you're still positive, if you're still smiling, kind, they think you haven't been through something. And then some of these demons, they think they're doing God's work by trying to humble you. It's like pretty crazy. They're like, they haven't been humbled. I'm going to show you. You think you're better than me? Humble him. And they start recruiting people and they start doing the weirdest things. When in reality, you guys got humbled a long time ago. We learned our lessons. We probably had one moment in our life when we was prideful, and we can't move like these demons. They be getting away with a lot. They still get their karma, but if we try to do anything bad, we get punished immediately. And our punishment be very severe. Because when you're on the path less traveled and you might veer off a little bit, God knows that you know better. So he's going to make your punishment a lot more severe. Sometimes you guys probably had a moment in your life where you're like, all right, let me do that. Bam! God's like, nah, you're not doing that. So yeah, we got humbled already. A lot of us hit rock bottom. Like God was like you got to experience this because you got to build up your empathy. You got to get your gifts. We got humbled. We lost everything. We lost family members, jobs, money. We thought this could never happen to us. You know, you be hearing about this stuff as well. Like, you be seeing this stuff in movies. You be seeing this stuff in TV show. You be thinking, that's tough. That's crazy. Couldn't be me. They talk about this stuff in the Bible, the book of Job. That's crazy. Couldn't be me. Don't ever think it could be you guys, because not only will it be you, it will be even worse than you ever thought imaginable. You start going through this stuff, you're like, how did I find myself in this situation? And having to pull yourself out of that, of something you didn't expect with no support, that will definitely unlock your psychic abilities. We got traumatized so bad that now we see the future. How many people can really say that out there? So if you got people trying to come your way and trying to humble you and do all these weird things, you can tell that you went through a lot more than this person. And now it's like you got like a psychological read on people, which is like insane. And that's why like a lot of people won't want to be around you. Because off of like one conversation with somebody, you can be like, oh, they probably went through this when they were younger. They're probably battling this. They're probably battling that. And some people, they take how you are as like a challenge. These demons be promising them like all these demonic gifts. People be sent your way on a demonic assignment to try to take you out. Because once again, you guys got a bounty on your heads in the spiritual realm. You guys don't be knowing this, but demons be meeting up in the spiritual realm and be talking about you and just thinking like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with this person? And then one of the demons like, you know what? I'm gonna try to humble them. They're at that 9 to 5. They're there for like 40 hours a week. I'm gonna break this. I'm gonna break them. I'm gonna break them. Not knowing that you already went through like 50 humiliation rituals. If you guys got born in a family like, and you were the black sheep, you guys have been dealing with your family trying to humiliate you your whole life. Dealing with your family turning on you, your friends. So what's it gonna look like a coworker trying to do something weird to you? Someone that you don't even know. So the funny thing is people be thinking they have a read on you, and then when it doesn't work, you start freaking people out. Because if you guys have made it to this part of if you guys, or not even if you awakened, your whole life, you've been thinking a little bit differently. You don't move like the average person. Remember, we're in a Truman Show. People be having a script, and they're like, oh, we got to do this to them. And if we do this, they'll move in this way. And then you don't be reacting how they expect you to. So they get you around the group. They start trying to humble you. And then you just ignore it. You start freaking people out. Because a lot of people are going to project themselves onto you. So let's say someone does something to you and you don't react. You don't retaliate. You don't say anything. A lot of people can't think that like you're your own person. So they think to themselves, like, what would I do if I was in their shoes? And some people out there think that you're planning your revenge. Probably at this moment, someone did something to you. You chose peace. And they're out there right now scared because they think you're planning your revenge. And they don't know when you're going to do it. When in reality, you're not even thinking about that person. A lot of you guys went through all your trials and tribulations. You went through your isolation seasons. You went through the worst of the worst. Some people be doing stuff and they think that they just did the worst thing imaginable to you. When in reality, you went through like I always like to gauge things like in levels. Someone does like a level 5 attack on you, and you were born already battling like level 50 attacks. You went through level 100 attacks, level 200. So people be trying to humble you and they thought they like embarrassed you or like they did like the worst thing imaginable to you. Some people are not even on your radar. Like they attack you and you're like, oh, okay. Because you guys are like so like desensitized to like the low level demons and stuff like that. And then those people, and once again, people are running a script, so they all do the same thing. They'll attack you, they see it had no effect. The act of them attacking you expose themselves in real time because they try to portray that they're a good person. They're starting to figure out that you are who they pretend to be, but by them attacking you, they expose themselves. And then this is why, okay, so you guys got to follow me what I'm saying, because remember I said these people are very delusional. So this is us following how they're thinking, and it doesn't make sense at all, but that's exactly how they think. They attack you, you didn't react to it, they expose themselves in the process, and now you got an enemy. Now you're like, how dare you do that? And you didn't do anything to that person. A lot of you guys are in like, a lot of you guys had people in one-sided beast with you, and you didn't do anything to that person. Actually, a lot of these, no, all the enemies you guys have aren't people that you guys seeked out. It's people you were just minding your business, and they chose to make an enemy out of you just randomly. Because a lot of people want to destiny swap with you. A lot of people want to be in secret competition with you. Your energy is like a gold mine, and people will try to siphon your energy in like a bunch of different weird ways. That one-sided beef, they need you to give them the attention to validate them so they can stop being depressed. Remember, none of these demons are happy with themselves. They need to attack you so you can react. So they be like, okay. I mean something. I am something. So when you guys are out there and you guys don't react to anybody, you guys are making people very depressed. And that's why you guys will have people keep poking at you. Poke. provoking spirits are some of the most annoying people to deal with. But the fact that you guys just see it and you don't be reacting to it, you guys be driving people insane. You guys be having people crash out because they can't get that reaction out of you. And now you see why you had to go through all of those things. The whole time you've been asking yourself, like, why is my life like this? Why do I keep getting targeted? Why? It's like Karate Kid. It's like wax on, wax off. You're the student. You're like, why is this happening? Like why can't people be normal? But now you're like a level 150 spiritual warrior, and now you're dealing with level 5 demons, and you see all that stuff was worth it in the end. And trust me, these demons be crashing out. You guys probably experiencing it right now. You be thinking with some people, like, you'll ignore them and like they'll get tired. But because your energy is so rare, like, you'll meet someone, they just can't leave you alone. They got to get that energy from you, because the energy they get from other people doesn't feel the same. They just want to be acknowledged. They just want you guys to like talk to them. And then you guys just still act. And then some of these demons, like, what they'll do, because remember, we're like in a spiritual warfare. They operate behind the veil. So they got to kind of be sneaky with how they do things. Some people out there truly think that you guys are dumb and you guys don't know what's going on. And that's like the pro and the con to playing dumb. On one hand, you play dumb, you're like, oh, like, they think I'm dumb. Kind of like they start slipping up and whatnot. But on the other hand, they truly think you're dumb. Like, it's very insane. Don't underestimate your acting skills, guys. Sometimes you play dumb and you're like, damn, that wasn't too convincing. They saw through me. And then the next day they start moving like, oh, they really think I'm dumb. That's crazy. So what's gonna happen is they're gonna try to be sneaky. They're gonna try to attack you in an indirect way. A lot of these demons are scared of you guys. You guys have a lot of indirect bullies out there. People that want to attack you, but they want to hide their hand, like throw the stones behind their hands. They want to do plausible deniability. They want to attack you in a way, if you called it out, they'll be like, I didn't even mean it like that. You're crazy. What are you talking about? So people be thinking you don't be seeing what be going on. Like, you guys see everything. When you guys are truly psychic, you see everything. And even if they're not doing something in front of your face, God will tell you in a dream. You will get a feeling. You notice everything. They will never understand how deep you guys actually see. So what's going to happen is they're going to attack you in a sneaky way. You guys aren't going to react to it. You guys are going to see it. You're like, oh, okay. They're one of the weird ones. You put them in a box. You're like, okay. You start moving on. And they start watching you from afar. They're like, did they see it? But because you didn't react, they start getting frustrated. You're like, they're too dumb. They're not seeing it. And that's how you guys be doing return to senders on these people. When you guys don't react to people, you be driving these people insane. Because when they don't get the desired reaction out of you, the same reaction they tried to invoke out of you, now they got to feel it. Like, why didn't they see it? Why didn't they feel it? So now they go back to the drawing board. They're like, all right, I still got to attack them, but I can't do it in an obvious way. So they attack you like a little bit more. And then once again, you see it, you're like, oh, okay. Like, people don't be realizing who you got. Like, I think if people are able to read your mind and see everything you went through, they'll just leave you alone. Like, if I was able to read your mind and saw your trauma, like, oh, this person got cheated on, this person got fired from their job, false accusations, family narcissistic, they dealt with that, I would just leave you alone. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. You start to see a lot of these demons, they're not really the smartest out there. Because once again, I be trying to use my empathy and I be trying to put myself in the demon's shoes. If I attack someone and they don't react, I'm like, all right, I'm not supposed to mess with that person. You know how freaky that, you guys are just in your body, but imagine the person that attacks you, they attack you, you just don't react. You're just like, okay. I'm like, oh, I'm leaving that person alone. But we're in a spiritual warfare. We're dealing with some demons that just do irrational things. So they're like, all right, I got to attack them a little bit more. Then you don't react. And now you got people crashing out and going insane. Because how dare you not react to what they're doing? How dare they try to humble you and you not get embarrassed, react, all these different things? Because these demons, they think they truly have discernment. Like, it's very crazy. If you guys are on this side, you guys did the work, trials and tribulations, you guys have real discernment. You guys have clear cognizance. Your discernment can't be faked. They think they really have discernment, which is the crazy part. And that's why they keep reading you wrong. Have you guys ever had someone completely keep reading you wrong? Like, they'll tell you, like, I know how to read people. I have discernment, this and that. And they keep reading you wrong. If that's the case, drop ones in the chat. Remember, those people haven't done their shadow work. So the discernment they think they have, they're looking through a veil of trauma. They keep thinking wrong, and that's why they keep failing to go against you. They think you're going to go that way, but you go that way. They think you're going to jump. You just end up disappearing. And now they're like, what can we do with this person? To demons, it's like on a lower level. Yes, they'll have discernment, but all the things that you know, they can't possibly read you. And that's why they start fighting you in an irrational way, because now you're unpredictable. Now they know they can't really challenge you in an intellectual way. Now they know they can't really like do the old tactics on the other person. So now they start doing some very crazy things on you guys. And that's where the false accusations come in. Because if they can't control you, if they can't get a reaction out of you, they just start doing witchcraft on other people, on the weaker herd. Because they be thinking like, all right, you know what? You think you're tough. And keep in mind, guys, like they're thinking about you as in like you're fighting back. Remember, it's like a one-sided beef. So they be at the house like, you beat me, you think you're better than me, da-da-da, this and that. You're not even thinking about them. You're thinking about like, all right, I'm going to cook this tonight. I'm going to go to the gym. Tomorrow, I'm going to go out into nature. They be at the house like, you think you're better than me? Okay, I'm going to get a group of people against you. And you're like, yo, like what is going on? Then you start seeing people not talk to you. You're like, yo, like, are we good? But once again, you guys are sidekicks. So as soon as like an energy shifts, you put everything together. Wait, well, I'm trying to be serious. You guys started putting everything together and you're like, yo, like how you guys are able to put things together off of like the small details, you coming in, energy shift, you just start thinking about it. You're like, oh, this person tried to attack me. It didn't work. Now they just recruited that person. They recruited that person. And now you start moving accordingly. Because their ultimatum, their biggest red button is like, all right, we're going to try to isolate you to make you feel excluded. So you start going crazy. Once again, you passed this test a long time ago. You woke up months, years ago. People already did that to you. You already had a moment where everyone tried to isolate you. You cried your tears already. You crashed out. That was like a 2023 thing, 2022, that was like 5 years ago. So they be thinking that you're going to react how you reacted like 5, 3, 4 years ago. And when they try to isolate you and you don't react, now you're like an issue. Now they're like, you're like a demon. Now they just got to start throwing these titles onto you and stuff like that. If that's happened to you guys, drop ones in the chat. Right now, at this point in time, there's probably like a conspiracy theory going on about you. And it's never going to be one of the light. Like, for some reason, they just can't accept that you're divinely protected. That's like something that's just like out of their vocabulary. You can say it. You can have it in your bio. As you are beating them, you can like shout it out. I'm divinely protected. I don't know. It doesn't register to them at all. So you can say that, but now they're going to be like, oh, this is like the king of the demons. This is like a king warlock. They'll probably call you like a narcissist, the craftiest destiny swapper there is, a master manipulator, when all you did was not let them get away with said behavior. The conspiracy theory will be so deep that you will dismantle like a toxic group, and then they will try to come to you to be their leader and something like that. That is very weird. They'll try to take you out. It's like these demons are like animalistic. They're like, their leader couldn't take you out. So you're the dominant one. So lead us. And you're like, yo, get away from me. Like that's the beautiful thing about being by yourself. Like you're not with these like little weird cult games that people be doing out here. That's something you've seen a lot throughout like your life. Like as soon as you start awakening, you start unlocking these psychic gifts. These things, these people are just cults. These jobs that you guys are at are just cults. You probably was born in a cult or a coven. People that have a group leader. That just sounds weird saying that out loud. Like, what do you mean a group leader? And this stuff isn't said out loud. This is stuff you got to kind of like figure out by yourself. And then when you start figuring it out and it hit a certain frequency, now TikTok is showing you this information. Which honestly, I would wish this information came to me before I went through it. But I understand that it can't be that way because it'll come across my algorithm. I'm like, cult? What are you talking about? These people are crazy. For all the people that's calling us crazy, we could understand it because like we were probably once in their shoes. We were like not that far ahead in our journey and we were looking at people talking and it's like, all right, that's a crazy individual. And now we became the crazy individuals. Crazy just means that you guys are ahead of the game. If people are calling you crazy out here, that's a compliment. Everyone type I'm crazy in the chat. Like if you haven't got called crazy on this journey, that's gonna make me like side eye you. I don't really want to deal with you. I'm gonna think like you're a spy or something. Cause what do you mean like no one's called you crazy? Like that means you're a part of the matrix. If someone called you crazy, that's like an initiation. Like remember we had to get like jumped in. We all had to go through our family members like you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about. And then we were like thinking to ourselves, are we crazy? Like what's going on? You're in the crib just like tripping, like, oh my god, am I crazy? That was a hard time. Hey, but you made it through. You made it through. And now you can see you're surrounded by cults. And that's why a lot of you guys don't want to be out there in society. Because once again, what do you mean a group leader? Like once again, saying that out loud just sounds like ridiculous. When you're in a group environment, you see there's like that one person that everyone's just like nervous around. They're just trying to make sure that person's cool. There's like a ranked social hierarchy. There's like a second in command. Then you got like the minions, the flying monkeys that just listens to whatever they say. And then you guys don't be noticing this stuff because you take everything at face value. But you guys probably had cults approach you trying to get you to join. But you didn't know it was a cult. You're just like, oh, okay. Because they see a lot of potential in you. Like your energy is very big. And these demons want control over you. But what happens is you guys get around these cults. And what they fail to realize is you guys can't be controlled. If you guys was able to break out the matrix, and remember, not, a lot of people aren't doing that. There's only like 10% of people that's awakened. If you're one of the few people that's able to break out the matrix, I don't know why they think they can control you. You will see the control tactics like in real time, and you will be like, do you not, I see what you're doing. But they truly, once again, they truly think you're dumb because of like how like well you're pretending. And a lot of you guys deserve like an Oscar for your performance, but at the same time, it's still kind of insulting. You really think we're this dumb? And then they're like, oh, we can't manipulate this person. And then once they can't manipulate you, they turn the whole group against you. And once again, it's a circle because you guys, you went through this stuff already. They all do the same thing. Trying to isolate you is like one of like the worst things they can do because you guys actually like your alone time. Sometimes you be putting your neck out there to even connect with people. You're like, all right, I got to talk to people. I can't be isolated forever. Let me give this person a chance, this and that. As soon as they start tripping, you're like, thank you. All right, you showed me who you are. I tried. And back to the house you go. Some of you guys pop your head out the house like probably like once a year, twice, to see what the climate's like. You become friends with somebody. You date somebody. They start being like a manipulative, narcissistic demon. Yeah, okay. And that's why you be throwing off a lot of people too, because people think that you're going to get depressed over them. But a lot of you guys have mastered the law of detachment. So when you notice like you're dealing with a demon, you're more so like disappointed in their potential of what you've seen. But you're able to just walk away. You're like, okay, I'll just take the lesson and like keep it pushing. Try again next year. What year is it? 2026? Have you guys got your quota out of the way so far? Have you guys hung out with, like, tried with one or two people yet? Some of you guys out there in nature just like vibing, like, nah, I'm not even gonna try that. We'll try next year. 2027 is our year, guys. Because what you're gonna notice is you guys can't be friends with a lot of people out there. You guys can't date everyone out there. Like, once again, don't think you're gonna be egotistical for saying this. Don't be too humble, but you guys are very rare out there. There's not many of you out there. Because think about this, 10% of people are awakened in society. And I hate to break it to you, but the 10% of people that awakened, that being awakened doesn't mean they're automatically a good person. Once again, guys, I can say that because I went through the trials and tribulations. I'm a life path 11. I had to keep going through this stuff so I can educate other people. I was in the shadow realm trying to figure this stuff out. When I awaken, I start finding spiritual people. I'm like, thank you, finally. I found the other spiritual people. They said they're spiritual. I just automatically assumed they were a good person. Enter the spiritual narcissist. Enter the spiritual egoist. Some people awaken and they choose the path less traveled. They choose it. Chosen ones. You choose that path. Some people awaken and turn into even bigger supervillains. Like, it's pretty crazy. Some people awaken and they think, I'm going to take over the world. There's some people out there that's like, that's really saying, I'm an evil genius. I'm going to control everyone I come across. That is very scary. Scary in a sense of, me, myself, I don't like having people under my control. Like, that's just like a weird thing. I'd rather people be like authentic. That's like a very like cool dynamic. If I notice like even someone's like under my control, I'm like, yo, like take me off of that pedestal like immediately. You guys ever had people like where they know you see them? It's like, you know, like you saw them, they know that you see them, and they start being like overly nice with you. I hate that. That's like my biggest pet peeve. Drop ones in the chat if you've experienced that. That just feels awkward to me because I'm like, I see who you are. I can just walk, like, we're good. I'm not trying to expose you. I'm not gonna be on social media like, you're fake, this and that. Yeah, you're weird. I'm not a judgmental person. Just go over there and be who you're gonna be. But they notice it and they're like, hi, how are you? You're good? I'm like, yo, please get away from me. That's like someone being under your control. I hate that so much. I'm like, as soon as I start noticing that, I'm getting away from you immediately. But some people out there, they love manipulating people. They love having people under their control. They get a rise out of it. You guys ever had people like traumatize you and they're like smiling in your face? That was the biggest indication that there's actual demons out there. Because what do you mean like I'm in my worst state and you're happy, or that you're smiling? That's so insane that a lot of you guys made it, like, you guys kind of repressed that memory. Seeing something like that, like you saw a flash of the demon and you literally just, like, you like Men in Black, you're like, let me forget this. Like, if you even try to think about it, you're like, I didn't really see that. I didn't see it. But then once you awaken and you start figuring this stuff out, you're like, yo, they were showing me who they were the whole time. Right, it's in the eyes and the spirit, exactly. And that's what you guys was doing with like a lot of people. Like, they would show you how demonic they were. You're like, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. But yeah, as I said, guys, some people awaken and they just go down the path of like a supervillain. It took me a minute to discover that as well. I'm like, nah, like how do you awaken? How do you have an ego death and still be evil? Nah, that's not a real thing. Man. Enter the warlock. start to know that this matrix is basically controlled by spiritual people. If you guys think the people at the top, the elites, aren't awakened or aren't spiritual, that's delusion right there. Some people awaken, they're like, all right, we're gonna take over the world, and that's what they did. And instead of trying to create a society where we're out in nature, we're just enjoying life, they decide to make all this extra stuff. And that's why you feel so out of place now that you're awakened, because none of this stuff is natural. It's just a system that the people, the warlocks, the energy vampires at the top created so they could drain your energy. Energy harvesting systems. A 9-to-5 isn't a natural thing, guys. That's not a natural thing. That's an energy harvesting system. Politics, energy harvesting. These distractions in the world, energy harvesting. They be orchestrating this stuff to like to divert our attention away. And if you're the one person that's like talking like this and you're not getting distracted, you become a threat. Enter the Agent Smiths. They start getting sent your way. You will see people get possessed like in real time if you go against like their beliefs. An Agent Smith that is so far in the system, tell them something as positive as, hey, you don't gotta work that 9-to-5. You can do whatever you want to do. They start attacking you. Because they're there to like protect the system. What do you mean I can do whatever I want to do? This is my 9-to-5. Ah! You start freaking out. So that's when you start noticing you can't talk to a lot of people about these things. Some people, if you even give a hint that you're an awakened soul, they start turning into werewolves immediately. And they start trying to like recruit other people. They're crazy. Get them, get them, get them. And you're like, yo, what just happened? It's like a zombie apocalypse out there. And that's why a lot of you guys just stay in the house. Because the house is safe. You don't really got to deal with anyone trying to manipulate you, trying to do witchcraft. You don't got to worry about a boss battle. It's peaceful. And you guys now in alignment. You recognize you're going to run into your people when you run into your people. This reality can be whatever you want it to be. You guys have came into that belief. If you guys believe that you stay in the house and that your love of your life is going to knock on that door, that's what's going to happen. People are going to be like, that's not going to happen. If you think that, that's going to happen. Someone's going to come deliver something, open the door, you guys have a conversation. Oh, this is an awakened soul. We're in alignment. Like, where have you been my whole life? So when some people don't want to operate in society, they can't be shamed for it. There are some people that's going to shame them. And if they're shaming you, that's someone that's trying to uphold the system. And I'm not telling you guys to go complete hermit mode, complete monk, this and that. But if you are going to be out there operating in society, use your psychic gifts to see people for who they are and move accordingly. Remember, not everyone is as they seem. People could be smiling in your... Like, these people are actors. It's crazy. You guys believe that there's like a lot of actors out there? The world is a stage. The length someone is willing to go to act out the characters like is pretty crazy. You'll have someone come up to you like, hey, how you doing? Are you still doing that one thing? That's amazing. I always knew you could make it. You are gonna be a star one day. Whole time they're thinking in their head like, I hate this person. I want you to fail. I wish that business would crash. But it took you guys a long time to like realize that stuff because you guys are just genuine people. You guys are just walk out there. It's like, everyone wants what's best for me. Everyone is a great person. I'm going to tell this person I got a raise. My business is going well. How you doing? Nah. I think my next stream, I'm going to talk about dimensions, the 3D, the 4D, and the 5D. Understand that the planet is on the 3D. And because the planet is on the 3D, that means a majority of people on the planet operate in the 3D. And when someone operates within the 3D, they operate out of their ego. And people that operate out of their ego, they can be very fake at times. So fake that you don't even think that's possible. Hey, but you got to go through it. And I'm saying it like you got to believe it. Like you guys have experienced these things firsthand. You guys probably had like your best friend betray you. Your relationship partner betray you. When you're walking this journey, you just gotta get used to the betrayals. Like it's just very insane. You go through so much betrayals at a certain point, you just don't like. It doesn't really register to you anymore. Someone betrays you, you're like, okay. You be having like a countdown when it comes to certain people. Like, all right, like when's this gonna happen? You're still in the matrix. You're thinking like that. Because also too, if you guys are constantly like elevating and you guys are constantly like bumping up your frequency, if you met someone that was on this frequency, you're like, oh, finally someone that thinks like me. This person in this timeline would never do you wrong. That's what you think. Like, they'll never do me wrong. But then your frequency starts going up, starts going up, starts going up. Now this person is no longer on your frequency. And now this person's looking up at you. People view life as a competition. They once was on the same level as you. And now that you're like elevating faster than them, now they're jealous. And it always starts at very subtle, like the little, like small little jabs. You're like, well, I know they're cool, so they probably didn't mean it. And once again, if you let someone stay around you for too long, it will just get worse and worse and worse and worse. Because God is trying to show you the red flags about that person. God is trying to give you the option to cut them off before he has to step in. And if God has to step in, that's going to be like a very like hard lesson for you to learn. That's why these days I don't be really ignoring the red flags, because like I've ignored red flags in the past. I've gaslit my psychic abilities, and that just almost ruined my life. When you have clear cognizance, when you have clairvoyancy, clairsentience, like you're going to see it. You're going to see it. Like you're going to see that this person's about to betray you. You're going to see the red flag. And then you'll probably be like, oh, that probably was nothing. Then you're going to see it a little bit more. You're probably going to get a dream about that person. You're like, oh, that was like a weird dream. Not really think much about it. When you also get to like very tapped in with your abilities, and if people can start confirming this in the chat by typing ones if this has happened to you, when you get very tapped in, people just tell on themselves. Like whatever you're thinking they're going to do, they're going to tell you. Because when you get to a certain frequency, like you like, without you even knowing, it's like you're like the truth serum to like other people. You probably get a dream about them. You probably see a red flag. Someone will probably tell you something about them. Wait long enough, they'll eventually tell you something. Like either they'll tell you something as like you can use that to see that this is going to be a pattern for the future. And you'll be thinking to yourself, like, why did they just tell me that? When you have a high frequency, people just feel comfortable around you and they'll just tell you whatever. Sometimes people tell you things, you're like, yo, why did you just like told me like your whole life story right there? You guys hop in an Uber, like, hey, how you doing? They don't even say, hey, how I'm doing. They start talking about the divorce, talking about how their kids hate them, how their job is just going downhill, and you're like, oh, okay. Which you do see the responsibility that comes with it, but if you guys aren't careful, people are going to be leeching off of your energy like a lot. It's actually a beautiful thing to be someone that can understand everyone's issue and give them that positive energy. But if you guys go out there in society and you're operating with people and you keep letting them do that, they're going to drain you. You guys are going to vibrate so high, you can't really be on autopilot. People out there are unconscious and they don't even know they're doing these things, but now you're aware and you got to have the responsibility to guide the conversation, because a lot of these things is not malicious. Before you get into that Uber, the Uber driver isn't thinking, oh, that's a high vibrational person, I'm gonna drain them for all he has. They just feel your energy is like, oh, this is a cool person to talk to. They start trauma dumping. They don't know any better though. You got to be the one to set boundaries. If you can't set boundaries out there, you're going to get destroyed like immediately. We live in a society of like unawakened people, unconscious people. A lot of people don't know what they're doing, and you got to protect and move yourself accordingly. If someone starts trauma dumping, a lot of you guys have been raised to think that setting a boundary is a bad thing. Because remember, our parents, our narcissistic family members set us up for failure. Other parents be teaching their kids these things. They're like, stand up for yourself, da 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 da. I'm proud of you, son. I'm proud of you, daughter. We didn't get that. If we try to stand up for ourselves growing up, we got punished immediately. If you tried to speak the truth growing up, you got punished immediately. So we're just surrounded by lies and stuff like that. And now that you get older, you pretty much think boundaries is like a bad thing to do. And you guys feel bad for saying no. Family sets you up for failure. But the good thing about that is neuroplasticity. No matter how you got raised, I think it's called theology or etiology. Basically, your circumstances from your past doesn't have to equal your present day. As long as you know what you got to work on, you keep trying every day, you'll be able to reprogram your brain. When you first start setting boundaries, it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel weird. You probably read a boundary book or watch a video. It's not as easy as having the information. Like, you just don't learn about boundaries, and now you're like amazing at setting boundaries. We're in a spiritual warfare. Some people out there, they take boundaries as like a challenge. Some people, and it's just because it's you, because they're used to operating with you in a certain way. So if they're used to manipulating you for a long time, and then one day you tell yourself, I'm gonna start standing up for myself, I'm gonna start setting boundaries. Some people are gonna hate that, but you gotta learn how to sit in it, honestly. You're gonna say no to somebody, and they're gonna make you feel horrible, guilty. You gotta like sit in that and remember, boundaries aren't for you. It's for the boundaries is not for the other person. It's for you. And someone that's truly supposed to be in your life is not gonna be mad over a boundary. Think about yourself. If like one of your friends set a boundary, are you gonna be mad? Are you gonna retaliate? Are you gonna cut them off? Nah, you'd be like, oh, this is their boundary. All right, cool. Because you guys think like normal people. Remember, we're not dealing with like a lot of normal people. We're dealing with a lot of traumatized individuals, a lot of delusional people, a lot of demonic people. But the best thing about someone fighting your boundary is a good indication that, oh, you're not supposed to have that person in your life. No is a full sentence, exactly. You don't have to feel bad for saying no to somebody. And once you grow as a person, people are just going to start falling out of your life. Some people are going to be like, how dare you set that boundary? I'm going to punish you. But then you start passing your trials and tribulations and you don't care about them punishing you. You're like, all right, you're going to punish me? You're showing me who you are. I don't need to have you in my life. How many of you guys have people try to punish you for setting a boundary? People get exposed like immediately. Like you tell them no like one time. You were there for that person every single day. Whenever they needed advice from you, whenever they needed like a shoulder to cry on, you were there, you were there, you were there. Then you said no one time, you set a boundary one time, and now they're like, how dare you? You're gonna pay for this. That's not someone you need to be around. Remember, like the people in this chat right here, anyone in here, if I set a boundary, okay, that's his boundary. We're good. Other people, they start tripping, they start turning into a werewolf. Get away from that person immediately. Because if they're tripping over that boundary, they've been draining you in some type of way. You just haven't been able to see it. It's sad to say that some of you guys, sometimes you have friends that are energy vampires. But with this information, you don't want to be thinking like that. You're like, no, that's so mean to think. I don't want to call him an energy vampire. You guys got to like cut all that nice stuff like out of the window. You start noticing you're dealing with energy vampire. Hey, start moving accordingly. Boundaries. Do I got to cut them off? This and that. This stuff is not a game. Your energy is something that a lot of people want, and they're going to try to do whatever they can to drain you of that. If you know your friend is an energy vampire, hey, it's time to like adjust something. What level of an energy vampire are they? Are they like a level 4? They don't really know what they're doing, so I just got to point it out and they'll stop. Or are you dealing with an Avenger level threat where they're like gossiping about you behind the scenes, trying to manipulate you, this and that? Oh, it's time to get rid of that person. This is a threat in my life, and I didn't see it beforehand, but now I got to get away from you. And then you'll have like the conversational narcissist. If you guys keep being around people where they don't care what you're saying or they don't care for you to add on to the conversation, once again, probably not someone you got to be around, or someone you got to kind of like limit your like time with that person. Think about you guys like as like empaths, especially like if you're clairsentient, where you're fully tapped in and you know how to make people feel validated in a conversation. Even if you don't know what they're talking about, your clairsentience will be like, oh, well, I know I should probably ask about this. I should probably ask about that. Even if they're talking about probably something like rocket science, you'd be like, when did you start studying that? What school did you go to for it? If you have someone where you're talking to and they don't ask you any questions, they, as soon as like you're talking to them, they're waiting for you to stop talking so they can start talking about what they want to talk about again. That's an energy vampire. You're probably not supposed to be around them. No more hiding, exactly. But right now, if you guys have any questions and get some chat engagement, go for it. But yeah, thank you guys for rocking out with me tonight as well. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for giving me a platform. You don't have to be here. I'm very appreciative. For those of you guys in my TikTok, if you guys want to watch this stream afterwards, tap into my YouTube. It's going to be uploaded on there. Appreciate the roses. How do you break a soul tie? Go no contact. Like real no contact too. Like I think some of you guys be doing like a fake no contact or something. Always spot on with your info. Appreciate it. 8 days no contact. Hey, you got this. Keep pushing forward. How can you tell which ones you have? Clairvoyancy is just being able to dream of the future. Clairaudience is getting messages within your dreams. To answer messages in sound, music, talking to yourself. If you want to know if you have these gifts, for one, we can all tap into it. As your frequency gets higher, you kind of just naturally tap into it. Clairsentience is the gift of like the clear feeling. That's when I was talking about like the empathy being at like a 10, where you kind of just like feel everything. Clairalience, that's the clear smelling. You be getting messages through the smells. Sometimes you meditate, you might be smelling roses or something, a smell that is trying to tell you something. And claircognizance is just the gift of discernment. Damn, there were some demons in the chat. That's just what comes with everyone's live stream, to be honest. Especially if you're like doing like a spiritual chat, you gotta understand that we are in a spiritual war. A lot of us gathering in one area, that means we're like food for like energy vampires. So I tell people, if you are in my streams, just ignore people. That's what I'd be doing. What things do you read to make you articulate yourself? Nothing specific. I like to go down different rabbit holes. If I see a book that interests me, I just start reading it. The book I'm reading right now is called The Courage to Be Disliked. I'm also reading, someone that follows me sent me a book. I'm gonna start reading that. If you guys are in here and you guys wrote a book, send it to me. I like to encourage people to write a book. Can you have more than one clairs? Yeah, you can have all of them, to be honest. There's some people in here right now that's like very powerful and they have like every single gift. I aspire to be like those people. Clairalience is the one I don't have. You're writing a book, multiple actually, that's amazing. You don't want to be seen, just get over your fear of being perceived. Some of us was put here to like wake up people, and that's like a lesson like we got to go through. I used to have the fear of being perceived, But after I had my Kundalini awakening, now I really don't care, which is like pretty insane. I used to have like a lot of social anxiety, especially like when I first awakened. I'm like, I'm different. I'm an alien. Now I truly don't care, which is a beautiful thing. You have all the clears. That's amazing. Thank you for the info. I got you. How do you strengthen your discernment? Getting more knowledge. Books are balls of energy. If you read those books, your frequency goes up a little bit. Go more within. All the answers you actually need are just within. So you guys can be on these TikTok lives. You guys can watch the videos. But I know even saying this kind of takes people away from my platform, which I don't care. But everything I'm saying, I'm just reminding you of stuff you already knew. If you'll meditate like probably like 30 minutes a day, you'll get downloads throughout the day and you wouldn't need me at all. So everyone in here, you don't have to follow me or even get information from me. If you meditate fast every day, like you don't even have to read books. Some of like the wisest people has never read a book. They just get the information from within. So like sometimes people be talking and they don't even know how they know the things that they know. Sometimes I make videos and I don't know how I know those things. That's because you can tap into this thing called source. God could give you the information that you're looking for. Any of you guys is like lost right now, you don't know what to do, you're probably going through like one of the worst moments in your life, go on a 3-day fast. A 3-day fast will definitely give you the answers you're looking for. Dina, appreciate the follow. What do I meditate on? I just meditate on my floor. Any books you recommend? The Four Agreements is a cool one to start with. Yeah, we're all born awake, but then we forget it because of the Matrix is just designed to keep us asleep. That's why, like NPCs, people that don't wake up, I'm not. I used to be like, why can't they wake up? Like, what is going on? But now I'm like more understanding. Like, I get it. Every day you wake up, you're getting bombarded with something to keep you within the Matrix from your social media, the advertisements, the archons. It's a very hard process for some people to awaken. Me, if I didn't go through my trauma, I probably wouldn't even have awakened, to be honest. I awakened in 2023. There was like a mass awakening in 2020. That show, like in 2020, like, I could have woke up, but I was still hard headed. I'm like, but it took me to going through my trauma to be like, yo, I got no choice now. And that's why like I signed up for that. Danielle, appreciate the follow. How do you know when you have a strong aura? People will smile at you a lot. People will stare at you. People will open up. People will try to humble you all the time. The people trying to humble you, that's like a big indication. People hating on you and people trying to humble you, they don't just do it to like regular people. If people are constantly trying to embarrass you, that's how you know you have a strong aura. People have been doing that to my whole life. Yeah, it's been like a lot of us. And the dangerous part about that is you internalize it. So a lot of people grew up thinking they were the issue. That if so many people kept trying to humble you, that it was something that you were doing. And that's the goal, to make you not know who you are and to be unconfident. When you start ignoring everyone around you and you start really getting that inner confidence, that's when life gets fun. The goal is to not really need external validation. If you are trying to get validated from humans outside of you, where they're fickle, where they're demonic and all these different things, that's going to leave you feeling depressed. But if you can wake up and tell yourself like, oh, I'm happy with myself, like you're not in competition with anybody, that's like the true way to be at peace. Can't tell you how many dimensions there are because there's a lot. Some people say 5. The people in the Matrix say 3. Some people say 12. Me myself, I think there's like an infinite amount of dimensions because I think you never get to a point where like you know it all. I always think there's like another level. Lala, appreciate the follow. Sharon, appreciate it. Hefe, appreciate the follow. I think you sent me a galaxy too, so thank you for that as well. Angel, appreciate the gift. S, appreciate the follow. Infinite timelines, infinite dimensions, facts. The timeline shifting, I think, has been like the most interesting thing like I've learned on my journey. Understanding that we're constantly like timeline shifting, and if you stay high vibrational, you'll stay on your highest timeline. So it's been crazy because like I mastered detachment, and before when I was, because attachment is the root of suffering. In the past, I would want to grow, but I wouldn't want to let go of the past, and that's why I would constantly like be getting into like these bad situations. Now I'm able to look at certain situations and be like, oh, it's time to say goodbye. I can like lose people, lose things, and not really get bothered by it because I know better is about to come. Jaylene, appreciate the follow. I feel like there was like a shift to like a couple days ago. I don't know if any of you guys felt that like 3 days ago. What's today? Like Saturday? Like 3 days? Is it a good idea to have kids? For that one, you got to go within. What's in your soul contract? Maybe in your soul contract, you are going to have kids. Because I also believe in reincarnation, and I believe for some people they'll have kids. Some of you guys probably will get like sad, like oh your parents aren't gonna awaken, and they're probably gonna reincarnate. My knowing is that for some of us we have kids because your parents will reincarnate as your kid, and then some people will say like oh wow like no they were horrible I don't want that. Some people are very empathetic and they forgave their parents and they're like well I still want to have them like learn, you get me? Because as bad as like our parents were, like they're under a program. At least for the ones of us that had the narcissistic parents, it doesn't excuse the behavior, but at the same time, they didn't know what they were doing. Callie, appreciate the rose. It's very interesting. Like I study a lot of like quantum jumping, quantum immortality. And with the whole thing with quantum mechanics, it's just science trying to put like a name to these different things. But you can tell like when they're trying to talk about it, they're basically talking about spirituality, but using the quantum terms is to get like the NPCs, the unawakened people on board with these different type of topics. Like if you guys read Supernatural, Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza, the whole book he's talking about like quantum, quantum, quantum. But when you read it, you're like, oh, he's just talking about spirituality. They couldn't handle their trauma exactly. That's why I tell people like make sure you guys forgive people. I do get pushback on some people. They be like, well, you don't know what they did, this and that. Like, well, forgiveness isn't for them, it's for yourself. And for some of you guys, like if you guys do want to quantum jump and get really good at this stuff, sometimes not forgiving somebody is going to keep you in a timeline. Like for me, I couldn't get to the 5D because I couldn't forgive my parents. But then as soon as I forgave them for what they did, like I just kundalini and I just like took off. And forgiving people doesn't mean you have to reconcile with them. Some people will always be a threat to you, an enemy. Sometimes people's like, can I still have like the same relationship? There's some people you can't have a relationship with. Some people like the fairy can get that fairy tale of like they forgive their parents forgives them, and they ride off into the sunset. Some of you guys can't get that because some of you guys vibrate so high that the demons within your family members will never be able to treat you how you deserve to be treated. Yeah, quantum immortality is definitely a real thing. A lot of us is not supposed to be here. If you guys have been like asking yourself, like, how did I survive this? How did I that? For a lot of us, like, man, we just keep hopping timelines. Every time it was supposed to be our end, we're like, oop, different timeline. And when you keep doing that, that's how you know like you're here for like a bigger purpose. It's a lonely life, but hopefully not for longer. Yeah, when the planet gets to the 5D, a lot of this stuff's gonna get better. When you guys I be seeing the videos, people's like, I can't talk to anybody, no one understands me, it's lonely, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. It's not gonna be like that forever. And we're put here to kind of help with it. Like every day, more people are awakening, more mass awakenings, more people are making videos about narcissism, all these different things. You probably think you're not making that big of an impact, but never underestimate how big of an impact you are making. Because right now, there's like a narcissistic collapse. When you kind of look at celebrities, people don't idolize celebrities as much as they did in the past. Like 5 years ago, like celebrities was like, man, like God's walking the earth and stuff like that. Now people are talking about them less and less and less. People bring up celebrities like, yeah, you gotta talk about it. It's like that's a beautiful thing to see. Because I do think there's like an unhealthy obsession that people have with like celebrities. Very like parasocial. Empress, Leo, appreciate the follow. Because when it comes to celebrities, they're just regular people. Even when it comes to like social media and like followers, people following, like all this stuff is just like fake. When it comes to social media, I see like I think that they put like a follower count to keep people like in a slave mindset. People constantly just like I gotta get more followers. I gotta get more followers, which some people leave the 9 to 5 matrix to hop into like a whole nother matrix. Some people hop on like these they leave a job, they're doing social media, and like I escaped, but now you're a slave to social media because you're constantly trying to like get more followers, get more followers. So I always tell people be aware and know that like the matrix isn't just one thing. As you go up, like you're constantly getting out of another matrix way of thinking. Of course, they all go to school and listen to the tell live vision. I didn't even know that. So they are all under programming facts. I'm not against anyone that like watches TV. I just know as soon as I awaken, like I can't do it. And if I do watch TV, it has to be like an old like something I know I'm gonna enjoy. Like anytime I do watch TV, it's like to heal my inner child. It would be like for me to watch something that like I liked when I was younger. So I said, "What's TV?" Be using the TV as like decoration in the house. Hey, appreciate the rose. Don't be a slave to your phone. Facts. I think for a lot of people, the phone is like the hardest thing to mitigate. Is that the word for it? Pretty much, we live in like a social, like a digital slavery era, where if you're not careful, you will find yourselves like doom scrolling like all the time. Phones aren't bad, social media isn't bad, but you gotta kind of limit your time that you're like on it. We're in a society where like a lot of people can't really socialize and talk to other people because they're so used to like watching the screen. You guys will notice it if you go to like the grocery store. Try to talk to somebody and see how freaked out they look, and not even just like a random person. Go to cashier, just ask them, "How are you doing? How's your day?" Start looking like freaked out. I hate how I feel forced to keep my phone on me. Yeah, it's all by design though, but awareness is the first step. If you have awareness and know you're supposed to change something and you don't, then you'll feel like a slave to it. But if you take things slow, you're aware, you journal about it, you meditate, then slowly but surely you can get rid of the bad habit. If you guys want a book to deal with bad habits, Atomic Habits is a good book. That was like one of the first books I read, and that book changed my life. I love keeping my phone on D&D and leaving it places from me. Yeah, people used to hate me for that. I keep my phone on D&D. Now that like my social media kind of like went up, I got a second phone. My main phone I keep that on D&D, and like my other phone will be like a business phone. I just hate notifications. That's like my thing. Like when I'm not doing lives or videos, I like to kind of just be away from this stuff. How can you tell from real and fake friends? As you're like going through betrayals, the fake friends, you'll start to have discernment where you can see these things coming from like a mile away. Remember, we're in a Truman Show, so everyone's like doing the same thing. When a fake friend starts tripping out, like you can sense it. And for a lot of us, we only end up getting tripped up because we try to give them the benefit of the doubt. So I'm gonna tell you, just listen to your intuition, honestly. Hearing my phone ring gives me PTSD. I'm telling you, I be getting all these little random notifications from like all these different apps. Me myself, I don't think we were supposed to have access to this information, to this much information, and to people. That's why like I'm very bad at responding to text. I don't like people having access to me like so much, but it's a normalized thing in society. Like it's very crazy. I remember pagers. Take me back. What's up, Tobishi? All my notifications are off. Sounds peaceful. Hey, but I'm out of here, guys. If you guys are on my TikTok, shoot me a follow. I go live almost every single day. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. On TikTok, go to my YouTube. The live's gonna be up on there. But appreciate you guys rocking out with me. This is a pretty cool stream. Miss She, appreciate the roses. That horn was a sign. I like chats like this. Like I like that you guys think like me. I'm so used to like thinking something and I don't say it out loud because I'm like, oh, it's gonna sound crazy. I gotta remember we're in alignment. Be following me. I appreciate you. Thank you. Getting a flip phone. That sounds amazing. That's something I was thinking about in the past. A phone that is just like kind of disconnected from everything. But yeah, I'm out of here, guys.